Hello, Exiles. How is everybody doing this Tuesday night? It's another Path of Exile 2 stream. We are marching closer and closer to the release of not only the patch notes for 0.5, but the actual release. Patch notes come out in 2 days from now, but today we're doing another stalling podcast with the one, the only, the corruptor casuals such as myself, turning them into speedrunners. CrimsonCasts. If you missed it, yesterday I raced my brother, cast on Comet. I thought I was going to smash him. It ended up being a nail biter. I will not spoil the results of it, but it was an intense race. If you want to watch it from my perspective, that's on last night's VOD. But tonight, we have some fun stuff to do. We've got a Path of Exile 2 news video to watch. Then, of course, we're going to hop into the podcast with Crimson, and we might do a little bit of league practice for 0.5, maybe a little bit of premature build prep, because I think I might actually theory craft some stuff for this particular league. I'm very excited. If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, please, guys, help me out. Give it a like. Make sure to leave a comment below. It really helps the channel and the video, the live, and the algorithm. I got to put out more regular videos because the lives do hurt the channel, but I do appreciate all of you here live right now watching as well. If you guys could hit the like button, that would really help on YouTube. And then welcome into everybody on Twitch as well. Man, we're streaming a lot. We got a lot of podcasts. My goodness gracious. Hey, Kalen, what's happening, man? Hey, Cash Money. Hey, K Frost. Hey, Deathstalker. Hey, Chappers. What's happening, man? Do the patch notes come out today? No, the patch notes come out 2 days from now. They come out on Thursday, US time. Hey, Bear BL, what's happening, man? Hey, man, have to apologize for my comment to Dead Rabbit. Thought you mentioned his name. No, Bird Tats. I know that I need to punch at my weight class. I can't punch above my weight class. Dead Rabbit is way out of my league. I wouldn't be able to beat him in an Act 1 race. I don't know if I could beat Arrow or Blaze, but I think that would be a lot closer, especially if I don't screw up as many times as I did yesterday against Cast on Comet. The race was great. It was like a football match for me in terms of emotions. I will watch. Marzag, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. I legitimately thought I was going to crush my brother. And wow, what a race. What a race. Gotta go deal with kids real quick. Just got home from work. Any new major updates that you can summarize for us real quick? KL Frost, they released a video on Expedition showcasing more rewards, more encounters, a little bit more on how the sailing will work from island to island on the Atlas. That's what we're gonna go over in about 10 minutes time. So remember, guys, timestamps, if you're watching the VOD, will be in the description below. But you already know that. You're in EU and you woke up for the pod? Brother, it's 1 a.m. where you are, Kaylin. That's crazy. Crimson's gonna be great to chat with. Win patch notes 2 days from now, dude. I got you worried, Deathstalker. It was a great race. Hey, good day, Ostjoy. What's happening, man? At one point, I thought Cast on Cat Ears was going to smoke you. My brother was ahead of me the entire race. I was not looking at chat. I was locked in, and I was locked in poorly. I rewatched the race while Dead Rabbit was watching it this morning with CrimsonCasts casting. And obviously, I rewatched it last night too. My layout reading was absolute trash. Oh my goodness. I need those campaign landmarks in-game right now. 0.5 needs to hit. My brother this morning, he was like, we need to go. We need to rematch right now. Tonight. We're going to do it again. We're going to run it back. And I did say, hey, you know, if you want to, I can stream it. Like Crimson, we're not going to ask Crimson to cast it again. But if you want to, I could probably do a two overlay setup. So on the left is me, and then on the right is him. And I could just press, I have a little hotkey here, and I could swap perspectives every so often and just not look and just lock in and kind of be entertainment at the end of the stream. This stream's going to be focused on the news and pod today. Oh, yes, the thumbnail is hard. You guys, legendary thumbnail. On YouTube, if you're watching, you know, live on YouTube or the VOD, yay in the thumbnail, nay in the thumbnail. Spam 1 if you think the thumbnail is funny and good. Spam 2 if you think it's silly and a little tasteless. Okay? Hey, Aiden, what's happening, man? You can't wait any longer? Dude, they are edging us so hard. This 3-week wait is both a blessing and a curse. I want to play it so badly. The more they release, the more they tease, the more interesting it freaking looks. I'm just... But, you know, we also get a little bit of time to let them drip feed us content, think about the patch, you know, videos, podcasts, get a lot of people chatting. You know, we got, like... Angormis teaching Flubgun how to play warrior. We've got Dreamcore and Palsteron chatting with Dead Rabbit, and we got a lot more podcasts in the PoE2 space now too. We got, you know, mine, the Still Sane Podcast. We have the Passive Tree Podcast with Blaze. We have the PoE Report Podcast. We have the Yap of Exile, which is a newer, smaller podcast by Whatever Media. I will be a guest on that in a couple weeks' time. And we have the Path to Exile podcast, which happens every freaking week. These guys are insane. Rain or shine, they are making that podcast through the offseason. That's crazy. You got my Brothers in Exile podcast. That's just me and my brother, the one that I think can be evergreen and we can just do in perpetuity. Any others that I'm missing? Apologies if I'm missing your podcast. Did I win yesterday? Trismegistus Cinnabar? I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was really good. It was really good. All right, a lot of people like the thumbnail. Okay, thick. Crimson socializing the speedrunner tech with the regular streamers has to be one of the best moves for the community. Charlie Hart, Crimson is absolutely smashing it. He has me legitimately loving speedrunning the campaign. But the big thing with me isn't even necessarily like getting a better time. Yeah, that's sick and all. But the game actually feels very challenging when I'm moving at that pace. And the bosses feel dangerous and every item really does matter. So, man, I love speedrunning. GGG is trying to make me League Start Warrior again. I think I might League Start Warrior, you guys. I'm not kidding.
Still Sane Exile?
Hey, Chuck, shut up. Yeah, I'm losing my sanity just a little bit. Just a little bit. Only 9 days left, everybody. 9 days left. Emo try is interesting for sure. Oh, yeah. Well, I was just copying his expression build, not bot. How quick do you think you will get to endgame this league? Great question, Waken Warrior. I'm going to estimate my campaign time will be 7 hours. You guys think I can do it? 7 hours. Yeah, the expedition teaser, we're going to look at that in 3 minutes. I think that I could do a 7-hour campaign. Maybe a 6-hour. Wow, dude. Chuck. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs, dude. What the heck? I appreciate it, brother. Oh my goodness. Wait, I didn't set that sub goal. That was Twitch. Thanks so much, man. I hope you've been enjoying everything. I will say, I am grinding myself to the bone right now, but I'm going to go through it. Look, this is what I'm wearing in the thumbnail, guys. Somebody thought it was AI, but it's not AI. Okay? Why would I AI on a pair of glasses? I just have a pair of glasses right here. Does this change my whole look? If I have glasses on, do I look more intelligent? Do you trust me more? Should I try putting... I'm going to record a YouTube video tonight after the stream. Should I keep my glasses on for the YouTube video and see how many people comment on it? The thing is, these are subscription glasses, so I can't actually see anything on screen right now. I can't... Everything is blurry. You know, I have at zero... Whoa, the world looks so weird when I go like this. Oh my goodness, the blur. The blur is ridiculous. Yikes. Anyway, maybe I'll put those on for my video. The reflection is crazy. Wait, is it reflecting? What is it doing? What is it? What's the reflection? Do you see at Ziri? At Ziri is my monitor. Subscription glasses. What do you think you're going to start? I've been testing Lightning Arrow Freeze Huntress and want to do the new class. You know, Chuck, that's a great question. People are joking that Face Breakers will be inaccessible, but I really want to try to get those. Maybe I'll get lucky. And if Ritual changes in the campaign as well, and your first Ritual you do in Freythorn gets you unique items, I'm wondering if because it's a level 1 unique, or it has no level requirement, Face Breakers has a pretty high chance to show up there. So I almost want to start Warrior and go into the Face Breakers just because it looks fun. Okay, I know I said I was going to theory craft to try to make a busted build, But that also just looks the most fun to me. That is the most enticing thing that I've seen. So I'm leaning actually into League starting as a warrior, maybe going Titan. But the second most exciting thing is probably the martial artist still. I think the martial artist is the second most exciting thing. So right now it's warrior, martial artist. I don't think that I'm going to League start Spirit Walker or Huntress, even though it does look pretty sick. Hey, Fat Pandolf, thanks for the Prime for 10 months, dude. Holy crap, I appreciate it, man. No, it's not my prescription. These are my wife's old glasses. They're not mine. Oh, did I say subscription glasses? Oh, I meant prescription glasses.
Hold
Oops.
on to your butts.
Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. Does CrimsonCasts have the race last night with his casting calls and a split screen POV? He does, Death Dealer. He's going to post it to his YouTube channel this week. Keep the glasses for the video? All right, maybe I'll try it. By the way, will you do more races with your bro or other people in the future? Marzag, I will. I probably won't do it against some actual real racers, but my brother and I are definitely going to do a rematch in 0.5 with Crimson Casting closer to ExileCon. And I would love to race some fellow creators. Like I'd be down to race Arrow and Blaze next week, or maybe some others that aren't as experienced. Because you got to remember, that was my 4th time trying to speedrun. I do not have the time to sit and practice, you know, like X the Farmer X. I know he's been doing lots of speed running. Local Hole, Dead Rabbit, they're all, you know, grinding the campaign out, getting their timings down perfectly. That was my 4th try in the past, and I've done it in the past 2 weeks. So I will not be able to contest anybody else. I might go martial artist, lab rat official. I also kind of want to try out the face breakers and maybe go warrior and titan. I'm waiting for patch notes too, which are in two days from now. Try we ride against paywall build blocking yet? No, we're not really going to talk about that. I've already given my take. I'm not going to ever participate into it, and you know, those who do, I think, are shooting themselves in the foot. What is a 100% race? It means getting all the necessary passive skill points and passive buffs in the campaign. That's a 100% race. Oh, Fat Pandolf, thank you. I appreciate it, man. When I hear leveling unique, it's translated in my head as second character level in unique. Yeah, basically, Charlie Hart, a lot of people are saying face breakers will only be a leveling unique. That would suck. I think I'm going to try to turn it into a viable endgame thing, but we'll have to see. Does anyone have any guesses on what way of the Stonefist will do to face breaker? I was thinking about it. I think it's going to change it from strength stacking to dex stacking. So you know how it's like every, 5 strength, you get 1% more damage, something like that. Well, I think Fists of Stone will change it. So maybe every 5 dex, you get 1% more damage or something like that. So you can scale it as a more traditional monk character. It's not a race if you can't see each other's progress live. You're really just doing a time trial. An actual race would be more interesting. You can't see each other's progress live. Well, I could have looked at his progress. He was streaming at H. Kraus. I just wasn't watching it. You're going Virash to Death Dealer. It just changes the base. I don't think it will change unique mods. Drake Pancake, I thought they said it would change unique mods. I'm pretty sure every single one has different modifiers. It's changing the modifiers, every single one. There was no way. They said this, Drake Pancake, on the live stream. They said it, Drake Pancake, that all the unique gloves will have unique modifiers. I'm 80% sure Jonathan or Mark said that on the stream. We do have a plan to do a Power Rangers team, all random classes, but Facebreaker only. That's ridiculous. Upgrades all the modifiers? Yeah, including unique modifiers. I think Blind Waste was cool because you both built the pressure for yourself. Yeah. I was sweating. Okay, I think we stalled, guys. We're going to get into the Path of Exile 2 news. The podcast begins in about 40 minutes. We have a brand new teaser from Grinding Gear Games called Path of Exile 2 Expedition Exploring the Ocean. All right, we got Jonathan Rogers narrating it. And It's cool. It doesn't give a ton of new information, but it's just showcasing how Expedition works. My conclusion here is essentially we're finally getting the long-awaited boat league that players were asking for years in Path of Exile 1, and we're getting it in Path of Exile 2. Hey, thanks, Pakrapat. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, we're 2 days out from the patch notes. They're coming soon. Sick thumbnail. Appreciate it. I am not the younger one. I am the older brother. I am 100% the older brother. I'm 3 years older. You missed the race with my brother who won. We did spoil it, so I guess I'll say, if you want to watch it later, cover your ears for 1 second. I won. I beat my brother, but it was incredibly close. I thought I was going to smash him, and I didn't. Try, if you get a chance to talk to the devs, I will not be able to talk to the devs. No interview for me this league. Could you ask if there's any chance we could get an option to display our present status? Oh, gosh, like invisible mode? I would love that, Neo Bear. Great question. Great question. You can't believe I'm younger than X the Farmer X and Misu? Why? I'm 29. How old are they? Yeah, you don't want to buy my speedrun build guide. Yeah, so funny thing. Apparently X the Farmer X and Fubgun were watching my brother and I race live last night. They were watching Crimson's stream, not watching the casting. I watched a couple minutes. I skipped throughout, and they were kind of commentating it and everything. It was actually kind of funny. So, but X the Farmer X messaged me and he was like, that race was absolute cinema. And I gotta say, I agree. It's fun watching two complete noob speedrunners speedrun Act 1. Like, all the mistakes added up to make it such a close race. Hey, Abstract Game. Hello from the US. 29, you don't look a day over 35. Well, thanks, the cable guy. Appreciate it, brother. It's okay. Mark said in the Ziggity interview how they handcraft the unique mods. They even joked that they now forget when they introduce new gloves that they have to account for the interaction. Yes, I thought so, Charlie Hart. Yep, I thought so. Bubgun sold me your $500 warrior build. Guys, here's the trick. I didn't have a warrior build, okay? One, I'm pretty sure I didn't use Frostbomb. I didn't use Infernal Cry. I mean, guys, I didn't use Infernal Cry. I love how CrimsonCasts is like, hey, Talkative tries at Geonor. His primary damage will be from the basic attacks comboed with Infernal Cry. Little does he know, I'm not going to use Infernal Cry a single time the entire fight. Gotta keep Streamer Man humble. I'm not saying I don't look old. I don't focus on my appearance too much. I mean, I try to exercise and work out and eat right and everything, but I don't hyperfixate on my appearance. Why I wear, tank tops one day, nice dress shirt the next day, blah, 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 blah. The dual mace was sick. It was fun. 90% of players can't do a sub-hour Act 1. I'm pretty sure it's higher than 90%. Okay, all right, enough stalling. Let's take a look at this video from Grinding Your Games and Mr. Jonathan Rogers.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. In the Runes of Alder League, logbooks are seeing some big changes.
Huge changes.
It's time to go seafaring like true explorers. Yes, you can explore the ocean.
Literally the boat league that we've all been dreaming of.
To the southeast of the Atlas lies a vast ocean with new environments to discover and treasures to unearth.
It also looks like they've upgraded the art on the Atlas. Am I crazy, or does this look higher quality? Like, look at the corruption zones, the mountains, the trees. It looks higher quality.
In the Runes of Alder, while doing expedition encounters, you might find logbooks, and by using these...
You know what I just thought of? I bet that they're going to do ship hideouts this league, and it's going to be in freaking mystery boxes. They're going to have, like, ship parked at harbor. Did I just say parked? You know what? We're going to go with it. Ship parked at harbor. Ship sailing the seas. Ship in a volcano. Like, that would print money. I do think the supporter packs are a little bit better this league, but they always go all out for the mystery boxes. GGG, if you're not doing a boat hideout, you're missing out. They're just showcasing with the highest graphical quality. I've had the highest graphical quality. Do you get your toupees from the same place as Blaze? This is all, here you go. Let me look. I can't even, this is all natural, guys. This is all natural hair. No toupee here. No toupee. I appreciate it, Billy Nichols. We need a ship hideout. The final boss. There you go, brother. The #1 role of Talkative Try speedruns. Keep them guessing. Basically, man. The lines look less buggy now. Yeah, that was a big thing. The nodes. Ugh. I hate how the supporter packs I always want never have a hideout. I know, right? Just your hype making it look good. It looks the same. Man, it looks better to me.
On the ocean, a small part of it will be revealed.
I love that little
As
animation.
the fog recedes, you'll discover many new islands.
Whoa.
Most of which you...
Whoa, I watched this on my phone. Requires Waystone tier 16 or higher? One, tier 16s are hella painful to get. I know I'm a casual, right? But man, I feel like my corruption odds are never getting me tier 16s. 2 or higher? Okay, everybody was calling Spud the King crazy when he was talking about monster level 90 stuff, and I do think he was reading it incorrectly after studying it a little bit further, but one, tier 16 must be base now, right? Tier 16 you just get. They're not going to lock opening maps behind tier 16, okay? You're going to get dropped tier 16s now or higher. So what is it? Is it going to be Ancient Waystones are tier 1 to 6? Is it Refined Waystones are 7 to 12 or 11 or something? 12, and then Pristine are 13 to 16, 17, 18. Maybe, I don't know. I think the precursor theme maps are T16 minimum. Probably based on the logbook and future proofing. They definitely changed Waystones. They totally did. They revealed T16 Waystones in the 0.4 reveal. We have T16 Waystones already. We have T6. You get them from corrupting T15s. They're already in the game. This is making it seem like they're more common. Because before, there was no place gated behind a T16. It was always like T15 because T16s were, like I said, an absolute pain in the butt to get. Still think he's reading into it, but I think they're just sticking to good old-fashioned natural T16s. Pristine is shown at T5. T17, you have -1 revives. You instantly die when you open it up. That is actually genius. That's good. Alexa Route 2, Precursor Waystones. Precursor Waystones. Did you notice Act 5 in the one video? Yeah, it was a mistake. It was a mistake, Act 5 being shown. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
won't have seen before, and all of them will contain expedition encounters.
Stagnant Basin.
In these encounters, you'll need to blow up the remains of buried Kalgurans, bringing them back.
Okay, I have a question. Sorry, I'm pausing so much. So they all have expedition encounters, but are they also basic maps? Like, do they have natural mobs in them, or are they only expedition encounters? Because I will not lie, I'm not the hugest fan of placing all the remnants and then fighting. I hope they have natural monsters in addition to the expedition encounters, and I hope the big boom is still a thing. Because, yeah, look at that explosion, guys. Look at that effect. Perfect pause from me. So I really hope they still have the big boom node on the Expedition Atlas passive tree, because I don't want to place all these.
Back to life, only to slay them again and steal their loot. Expeditions now also include the Runes of Elder crafting remnants, granting immense opportunities with a wide selection of recipes.
These monsters are sick.
But there's more than just the buried dead. Each island has all sorts of things to find and explode.
Oh, guys, look, it's a guy. It's a Facebreakers. It's a Facebreakers
all
guy.
Sorts of things to find and explode. In the Bleach...
Doesn't that look so fast? Look how fast he's attacking with Rolling Slam. Watch that. Watch how fast.
But there's more than just the buried dead. Each island has all sorts of things to find and
That's
explode.
Rolling Slam. Right here. Boom, boom,
In the bleached
boom.
shoals,
He
you'll
was like
discover
going,
siren eggs throughout the area, as well as clams that contain a surprising amount of riches. As you destroy the eggs, siren spawn will emerge from the water. But be careful. If you destroy enough eggs...
Yeah, he's not using a mace, but the skills have the added attack time on top of them. It's not the item. I think they reduced the added attack time, guys. I think they finally did it. But if they did it, I can't believe they didn't say it in the reveal, you know, like put a 2-minute section saying, and we've done a balance pass on all mace skills and drastically reduced the amount of time it takes to blah, blah, blah. Fatespeaker is a one-handed mace, so it's fast. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, guys. Patch notes in 2 days. We'll find out in 2 days.
The siren herself will arrive to defend her children. On this craggy...
Whoa. Did her boobs get nerfed?
...eggs, the siren herself will arrive to defend her children.
I don't know.
On this craggy peninsula, you can find another camp of the kin, hiding in their hovels. Blowing them up should get them out of there. And while you're at it, you can free some of
This is a vision build if I've ever seen one.
their caged beasts.
Hey, Connor, what's happening, man? They 100% hadn't decided most balance changes at the time of the reveal. I think you're right. I also think, I thought you said, they 100% hadn't decided any of the balance changes at the time of the reveal. Which, you know, it really sounded like they hadn't done a lot of balance. So maybe this is a more updated dev build as well, because that looked really fast, the Rolling Slam. But I agree, Connor. I think there's going to be... I think it's time. I think it's time to just speed up maces a little bit. If they're not pulling back on the speed of other classes and we're embracing the speediness, just speed them up a little bit. A lot of numbers shown are super inconsistent. It's far too hard to read into. See, you're the numbers guy. I'm the vibes guy. Although, Connor, I'm actually going to try to theory craft some builds this league myself. That'll actually be busted. There's new ward spells where the cost changes every new scene. Yeah, you were going frame by frame, I remember.
They've even caged some exiles in order to watch them fight with each other. Why not blow them up too? In this inland heath, you will find a gigantic remnant with a series of smaller runestones. Each one you blow up will activate another slot on the massive remnant, allowing you to craft almost any recipe.
This is literally it's crafting bench extra steps, GGG.
Allowing you to craft almost any recipe.
This is a menu with a long list of... Did they secretly drop the new Ranger Ascension? No, they haven't yet. They dropped this today. Oh my goodness. Look at how long that bar... I'm just saying, guys. Yeah, the scroll bars... Guys, look at that. Look at that. You know what? Let me... Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Where's snipping tool? There we go. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look at that. Look at that. And I know this is happening in very rare circumstances, guys, when you get this super cool rare encounter. But still, the reasoning that they've said for not having the crafting bench is because they don't want people to spend time in a menu such as this with a lot of options and being overwhelmed. No way that's the scroll bar. I mean, maybe it's not the scroll bar, but man, that looks like a scroll bar. Are you... all right. I mean... All right, guys, you can cope. You can cope. I'm... Okay. All right. Okay.
But there's still many more. Free trap wisps, blow open root doors, even raise ancient precursor technology.
That's cool.
In order to explore the ocean further, we'll need to acquire more logbooks by killing runic monsters, indicated by large flagpoles around the dig site. With each logbook, you can explore more of the ocean and you can go as deep as you like.
So the ocean is infinite as well. So you just go as far south as south goes, essentially. Where are you headed? As far south as south goes.
You can explore more of the ocean,
Game of Thrones.
and you can go as deep as you like. There are ancient vaults,
Whoa.
a bunch of new bosses,
Oh, these boss fights, guys, are gonna be freaking sick. Can we just try, you know, something that I haven't mentioned a single time since the reveal? They showcased us fighting 2x Citadel bosses at once. Like, you can fight Jamanra and Geonor in Geonor's arena. How cool is that? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm so pumped.
all sorts of underground areas, and a few other surprises.
Okay, they say other surprises. GGG,
Some
you
underground
showed
areas.
the boss of this, I think.
And a few...
Did they show the boss of this meteor, or did they not? Is this the spider? Or did they not show the brand new boss for Runes of Aldur? I'm pretty sure they didn't show the new boss. But I don't know.
all sorts of underground areas,
Also, this looks so similar to Delve, it's crazy.
and a few other surprises. There's just so much to see and explore, so join us for the release of The Return of the Ancients on May 29th. Thanks for watching, and see you then.
So sick. Very exciting. Very exciting. I still think Runes of Aldur is the league that I'm least looking forward to playing, just because it does look like it has a lot of menus. I'll have to see what it's like in game. I'm also just not a giant Socketable fan. Yes, I know this is an opinion many people disagree with. I just think there's so many in the game. The meteor must be the spider. They showcased him. They didn't tease his fight. Okay. Okay. I did look away. I did look away for a lot of the boss fights. So. Make it 3. Yeah, I want to fight Doriani. I want to fight Jamanra and Geonor all at once. That'd be pretty sick. The meteor must be the spider. Imagine Jamanra and Big Monkey at the same time. We need Monk Showcase next. I do think Martial Artist is going to be the next showcase. Yeah. Yep. It has to be. It's got to be before patch notes. I bet they've saved it for Wednesday. So, guy that dies has a new speedrun record.
Still Sane, Exile?
3 minutes and 30, sorry, 3 minutes. 3 hours and 25 minutes, 45 seconds. That is insane timing. Still Sane indeed. Look at the second rune in the menu. Teaser for next league. Wait. The next rune in the menu. Betrayal of Aldur. We've got the Ruins of Aldur and then the Betrayal of Aldur. Then we have the Passion of Aldur. All right, we got Elder leagues for days here. We have Betrayal of Aldur, Passion of Aldur, Ire of Aldur, and then the Breath of Aldur. I don't even know who Aldur is. I don't recognize that name in the lore. I wonder if we're going to learn who Aldur is. People are doing Twisters. Yeah, a lot of people are going to play Twisters. I'm shocked at how many people are going to start them. Who's Astrid? Yeah, there was the random Astrid name in there too. The Runes dude. Bunch of Runes owner. Aldur's set from D2. Aldur Maddox. We'll see after patch notes. I'll do it for sure. Ha 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 ha. Aldur is a boss? We don't know. I'm guessing it's a place in Kalgur. At least the last 2 nodes of Martial Artist. Now they'll do like a build for it. I'm sure they're like they did for the Spirit Walker. Okay. We've already seen what happens when the meteor lands. Oh, this is a clip. This is a clip. This is a clip. Do I trust Connor? I trust Connor. Dang it. Okay, yeah, let's watch it. Is he going to get insta-gimped by Cirrus? Oh, the name spoils it. Did he press it too early?
What?
3 years ago? 3 3 years ago, dude. Oh my goodness. 3 years. Wow. I remember watching this clip. That's crazy. Oh my, oh my. One more day? No, 2 more days, dude. Right, streamers get tornadoes nerfed before patch. No, I'm not playing tornadoes. Neverborn Lucky. I don't want to play tornado. I don't want to play twisters. They almost look a little clunky to me. Now I say this without having played them. So no pitchforks. But I don't think they're going to get destroyed, right? But they might not be the most powerful thing. I saw Guy That Dies posted, what was it? This.
And
look at this.
this is one of the most satisfying leveling builds in all of Path of Exile 2 right now. You freeze bosses in place, then one-shot them with a single charged snipe, while Herald of Ice explodes everything.
What in the world is this? You guys see that?
This is one of the most satisfying leveling builds in all of Path of Exile 2 right now. You freeze bosses in place, then one-shot them with a single charged snipe, while Herald of Ice explodes everything around you. It works on both
I know it's
Ranger
ice shot and
Huntress,
snipe shot.
comes fully online at level 31, and feels absolutely cracked the moment the swap happens. Early on, we level smoothly with Lightning Arrow and Lightning Rod, but once we hit Ice Shot plus Snipe, the builder becomes a boss melting machine. In this guide, I'll show you the exact transition, every key pickup,
Okay.
and how to play it so you can blast.
Just
through
by the way,
campaign.
this intro by Guy That Dies, this is cinema. Like, he is nailing his intros, okay? And you're seeing it be massively rewarded. The dude had like 5,000 subs a couple weeks ago. 72,000 views on this video. His other video, the one that I saw, this was the first video I saw of his. What was it? What was the first video I saw? Was it a long time ago? This one? This one? This video right here is incredible. I didn't even know Guy That Dies made content until I saw this video. And it's really good. But unfortunately, a lot of the tips that he gives that aren't related to the boss are going to change significantly. But I'm sure he's going to learn them pretty quick. Yeah, he went from 70 average viewers to like 500. Tomac, I beat my brother. No, screw that dude. He actually advocated for paywalling build guides. I don't think he advocated for them. He just said that people who do it aren't scum. And I think that he's done some of that in the past as well. And it's just basically said that people shouldn't, be called scum if they do that. But I know it's a way more like, nuanced issue, and I actually have basically the same points as you that, people shouldn't do it. But I don't want to get into that again. I've already talked about it. What? What did I do? Wow. Young Y Doc, I was actually going to watch your video tonight, but you just followed me at my channel, so that means that it's over, and I can't even believe that you haven't been following my channel. I'm very insulted. Very insulted, young Y Doc. Absolutely crazy. It was recommended to me earlier today. I watched the opening. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Young Y Doc, or just Y Doc, posted this video. I could not watch it today. Why some players are skipping PoE 2's 0.5 patch. And I see it has 373 comments, which looks like one of my videos, my controversy videos. So I'm guessing it was spicy. Also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about the video. Enjoy the rage bait. Listen, I had to take some of the fire off you. Dude. Do you want to be young Wadoc or just Ydoc? Because your YouTube channel is called Ydoc now. Ydoc, I haven't been getting any fire. Because I'm staying out of the crowd. No fire. No dev interview. not touching any drama, being nice to everybody, just chilling out, I have gotten 0 flame for the past couple months. I'm a speedrunner now. I mean, I'm in the elite, I'm just woo. No, but I do want to watch this. It's 30 minutes though. My goodness, dude. How do you pump out these super freaking long, high quality videos? What was this, 45-minute video? It's crazy. I mean, you do take a while before you post the video, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll watch it on stream later. Maybe I'll watch it in my private time. The elite. Guys, how many people think I was serious with what I just said there? Do you think it's over 50%? Do you think it's over 50%? I think it's over 50% people thought I was being serious with what I just said. Pee-wee 2 isn't an air terminal. You don't need to announce your departure. What did I say? I said that I'm a speedrunner now and I'm elite. Oh, man. My goodness gracious. I'm so... Okay, judging from this comment, are you saying that the game is too complicated now, Wydoc? And that people... I mean, in essence, dude, I agree with you, but it's just going to get more and more complex. It's going to get more and more complex. Have to be able to kill Geonor for us. Well, wait a second, Rehab RS. I definitely did kill Geonor. Okay? I killed him. It just took me 3 tries. Okay? Nah, man. So the irony is no one heard what I said at the very beginning of the video of how I feel. No, dude. No. No. I want my socketable ruins to have a talent tree. Connor, man, you got to stop, brother. You got to stop, brother. It's gonna... Can you imagine what this game is going to look like in like 2 years? It's going to be more complicated than Path of Exile 1. And I'm not being facetious. If they keep adding this tremendous amount of content every single week, it's going to be more complex than Path of Exile 1 in 2 years. Like the whole... I don't know. I'm like... I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself or if people are gaslighting me, but everybody's like, they never said that this game was going to be less complicated. They said it was, just going to be kind of a reset, and it would be just as complex as Path of Exile 1. We want Path of Exile 1 players. That's our target audience for Pee-wee 2. We're targeting people who've played Path of Exile 1 and people who would love to play Path of Exile 1 but won't try to play Path of Exile 1. I swear that was not, I've watched every interview, I've read every article. I swear that wasn't what was said, but I can't be arsed to go back and watch everything, honestly. So, yeah. That's okay. I like the game. I still like the game. I like Path of Exile 1. I'm just saying, like, I think it's going to push off some people. Ooh, did I just break my mic? Oh, no, we're good. We good. Just bloat while the game is in its earliest stages and so much more is yet to be bloated. Pee-wee 2 is meant to lure in D4 players with weed and slowly transition them into math. That's a great way to put it, Connor. A great way to put it. Yeah, I gotta say. Okay, so I played Diablo 4, guys. I played Diablo 4. Great. It was good fun. It was good fun. Now that I'm back home, I missed home. I really did. I took home for granted. I went and I had my little fling. It's not bad. It's not bad, guys. It's okay. Diablo 4 is okay. But coming back home, man, home is great. Does complex just mean more stuff for you? Yes and no. We'll take the rune system, Rexolf, as an example. There are now, 500 plus sockets in the game? Or socketables in the game? That's a lot of stuff. I think it also adds a lot of complexity if you want to optimize and get like the right stuff for your gear and look through everything. And I think that's complexity, especially when some runes have lesser, normal, greater, and then you have idols, then you have ruins, and then you have soul cores, and then you have, I don't know, I don't think there's anything else. Is there a different one now for, Runes of Elder. I don't know. But that kind of stuff. Like, I get that that's going to happen. My big thing is, here's my huge thing that I would be perfectly okay. Let's get the Age of Mythology music back on, guys. Got to get some AOM in here. I think all this would be fine as long as they keep up the proper onboarding and the tagging, and they explain a lot of the stuff in game. Not outline it fully, right? I don't want there to be no mystery. I don't want people to have to speculate and theorize and theory craft, all that stuff, right? But I like that stuff is figurable out in game, and that you can trust your character screen in a lot of scenarios. And the tag system is a huge boon for the gem system, right? So a year from now, we will be building civilization. Holy Chuck, dude. Thanks for the 10 gifted subs. My goodness gracious. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love the tooltips too. I just wish they'd name the augments a bit better. I'm just thinking, so I'm just thinking, you know, already getting super complex. 1.0, it's going to go even wilder. And then 5 years from now, guys, boom. I just hope the onboarding remains good. I do. Thank you, Chuck, dude. My goodness gracious. I appreciate it. I don't think anybody's rage baiting. Brother, what are you doing? Chuck, dude. Chuck, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Dude, I hope you enjoy the podcast tonight. See, now I have to make sure the podcast is good. Oh my gosh. Thank you, man. Now you're at 350 gifted subs. Oh my goodness. You might be the top man, Chuck. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some people, Andrew, you don't need to know every augment. You're totally right, Andrew. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right. You're a new player. Okay. Let's imagine we're new players. Or you can even take me as an example. All right. Let me see if I can find the moment. Let me see if I can find the moment for us here. We're going to start the podcast in 10 minutes, guys. Imagine you're a new player. You're playing Path of Exile 2. You're really enjoying it. You know, you're getting onboarded slowly. The systems are steadily introducing themselves to you. You love the combat. The items make sense. You know, the passive tree, oh, is a little big, but, you know, it's basic enough, right? It's basic enough. Okay. And then you decide, I'm going to spend a little bit of money on this game. Everybody is telling me how amazing this game is and how you need stash tabs. Okay. So you decide, all right, I'm going to get stash tabs. I can't find it, guys. I'm going to get stash tabs, and you buy the Socketables stash tab. I can't find it. I literally can't find it. And then you open the Socketables stash tab. Can I find it? And you see, do they show it? No, they don't show it. Whatever. I thought they showed the new Socketables stash tab in the reveal, but you see the Socketables stash tab, and there's 500 different ones, and then 2 years from now there's 2,000 ones. All I'm saying is there's going to be a squish eventually, because there's no way this system is going to survive. It just isn't. Like, when you have all these items that drop on the ground, they are world drops, or you find them from specific league mechanics and you have to use them in your builds and build. It's going to change. There's no way this is scalable. No way it's scalable. You don't like odd numbers. All right. 5 years from now, we'll have 2,000 ruins and Socketables. You're so right, Scorewin. The Socketables will be in a list like the bench. Well, why not have the bench exactly? Socketables allow for build diversity. All I'm saying, Nathius, is I feel like there would be a more elegant solution than Socketables. That's it. Yeah, I got both $90 supporter packs because I'm crazy. Imagine GGG casting Carl Urban, the one doing Billy Butcher and the Boys for the Mercenaries voice. That'd be awesome. He'd do a good mercenary. I don't have Ass 11 in this chat. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta stay family friendly. No Ass 11. Why assume the quantity won't be trimmed down after league end? Well, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna have to be squished, Cicero. What the hell is Ass 11? No, we don't have try 11. We don't have try wide. I'm not getting into that pose. Not happening. Not try wide HD. It's not happening, you guys. No, guys, this is all new Twitch stuff. Am I going to watch react to the DM and Ghazi interview with GGG this weekend? I'm going to be spending most of the weekend with my family, so I will not be reacting. Okay. But I do think we need more meaningful sockfuls and remove the ones that no one uses. Pretty much. But I'm going to watch it myself in my private time. Emote in Ingormus's chat. It shows at Ziri's butt on screen. No, it doesn't. Wait. No, it doesn't. That's not what Ass 11 is. Whoa. When is my brother actually going to upload videos? Great question, dude. Great question. Will me and Ghazi spend time together at ExileCon? I'll try to say hi to everybody at least. Hey, Iron Monkey, what's happening, man? I'm 29. I'm not an old man. Come on. I'm still salty they sold us rune stockables as a replacement for crafting bench. That's where I go back to. I just feel like that was a more elegant solution than what we have now. And, you know, it's all right. It's all right. I think it'll change eventually. And then Scorewin brings up a great point, which is why my brother said they should be removed from the game. I would imagine that 90% of the time, folks are just going to use the iron runes or whatever that increase the armor, evasion, energy shield of the armor underneath. Anything else would be highly niche and super late game. 100%. 100%. Yep. I think that's why in early game, my full take, if I go in on it, my full take is that the rune system is trash early game, essentially. And that most of the runes shouldn't even exist, and they should just have all those unique runes at the end game. I think runes should be another layer that you start really investing into and opens up later in the game. And not early in the game. Because right now it's used as a band-aid, or they say it's a band-aid to fix resistances and stats and da-da-da-da-da. But very few people actually use it. All right, see you later, Chuck. Thank you so much for the subs, dude. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Watching 29-year-old YouTubers while being 29 feels a lot weirder than being a teen and watching a 29-year-old YouTuber. I would imagine. Anybody can do it, though, man. All right, I'm going to ping Crimson. I think, is he streaming? Crimson's streaming. We might need to knock on Crimson's door. Knock on Crimson's door. Is he here? Yeah, that's right, Stream Elements. Make sure you are subbed on YouTube. Should I stream or just share cam in Discord? Either works. Good with either. I was just about to knock. Yeah. All right. He was online an hour and a half ago? Ah, okay. All right. Should be way more deterministic in the campaign. Yeah, more blank runes, essentially. I'll go live. Give me 5 minutes. All right, sounds good, Crimson. Oh my goodness, Crimson. Brother, how do I do this? How do I do it? Oh, whoa. Whoa, I just timed him out. What? Wait, how do I timed him out. Crimson, I'm sorry. How do I untime him out? How do I? Guys, I was going to give him VIP. I didn't mean to time him out. /VIP CrimsonCasts. Oh, no. No drama. He's going to be on my podcast. No. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shoot, I pissed him off. I pissed him off. He's typing again. Oh, guys. Crap, guys. I pissed him off. Well, I thought we were going to have a podcast, but I just timed out CrimsonCasts I just like banned him from my chat on accident, and he's actually beefing with me now. This is kind of ridiculous. He just casted that huge race between my brother and I. I thought we were building some rapport. I was becoming a little bit more of a speed runner, actually getting good at the game. Yo, holy, hello, Rax. Thank you for the raid, man. This is a joke. This is a joke. We're actually about to start a podcast with CrimsonCasts. Welcome in, Raiders. What's happening, man? Yeah, that was an accident. That was an accident. Big accident. I don't actually know how to fix it, guys. So he's just gonna stay muted for the next little while. All right, let me get the scene. Good to go. Got the Still Sane Podcast here. Rax, I hope your stream went well, man. I saw you were playing, what is it, Raiders over Blackwell? I think that's a new game. I don't know if it's an ARPG or what. We got CrimsonCasts. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That's sick. It's like Hades plus ARPG. Okay, well, you just sold me on it, Rax. So I might need to get that. Oh, not my crotch, not crotch shot. Oh my goodness. That sounds great. I'll give it a look. I'll give it a go. Love Hades. Kind of a fan of a. Oh, I hope I didn't actually. No, we're not doing try wide. No. Oh my goodness, guys! I have a job, and my employer knows that I stream. Okay, we can't do this. We can't do this, guys. I literally can't do it. Does Pee-wee want to have a way to apply a 7th affix? I mean, yeah, with influence. With influence, kind of. No. We're not doing that, guys. I'm not allowed to embrace that sort of thing. When I'm a full-time streamer, if I ever do that, I'll do try wide. I'll do try 11. We'll fully embrace it. Oh, he's in the call. He's waiting for me. He wants to collab. No, my employer does not know I time out my guests. It's oh, goodness. All right, is shared chat on? I think it is. Oh, he's back. Wait. Didn't I VIP? Didn't I VIP Crimson? Does it not show /VIP? Okay, I added him as a VIP. There we go. That's what I was trying to do, dude. Raiders of Black Veil. Okay. I am not wearing a kilt. Okay, let's get him. Oh, he's already here. Let me turn off Age of Mythology. Let me get... Where's virtual camera? Right there. Here we are. Oh, he's not here. Oh, he's not here. Oh my gosh, he did cancel the podcast. He's gone, guys. Crimson, please, brother. Brother, no. Oh, he's here. He's here now. Hello? Oh, I don't have my headset on. This is my bad. I'm an idiot. There we go. Hello? Hi, I can hear you now. What's going on, man?
I don't have. Oh man! All right, let me see if I can.
Mistakes
share
were
camera
made
with you in the call, so you can screen cap and we can do podcasty things.
Okay. Let me get chat on my screen here. Where are you, chat? Chat. There you are, chat. Nope, not that chat. I don't care about that chat.
Ooh, it may require me to end stream.
Oh.
Because it doesn't like it when my OBS and my Discord both want my.
If you disable your camera fully on OBS, does it allow you to do it? Or if you just turn on virtual camera and share your screen on OBS, does that, if you select your virtual camera in Discord, does that work? Maybe.
Let's see. No, I'll just raid to you and then it'll be fine.
Okay.
I'll just hand the viewers over to you. It's all the same people anyway. People know who I am.
All right, sounds good. Get the cues up on my screen. Where are those cues? Oh, where's the topic list? Crimson, Halsey, Jazzerus. There we go. Wait, why did I
Hit me
open
with the
Halsey's?
Jazzerus questions. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Jazzerus questions. Here we go. Big. Okay.
There you go. Guys are live, so there aren't many viewers to port over.
All good.
I'll ping my Discord since I'm not streaming and say.
Okay. Welcome in, CrimsonCasts view. Hey, Pedrox, Predrux GG. Welcome to the stream. I know this isn't what you were expecting. I thought you thought you were gonna get like CrimsonCasts and a pair of glasses, maybe a suit, a tie, and all that, but you're just getting me in a tank top. Okay. What you're getting.
for now.
For now. I can't read the screen. Can't actually use this. Oh man, yeah, these prescription my wife's vision must be just so shot. Unfortunate. Where are you? Still don't see you.
I know, I'm fixing all.
Oh, you're
the things
fixing it?
going
Okay,
through.
okay. I wanted to make
I'm
sure.
fixing all. There's so many things going wrong today.
No, you're fine, dude. No rush. We are fine. Oh, there we are.
Hopefully.
Whoa,
There we go.
whoa, there you are. You're on my 32-inch 4K monitor because I'm now on my 24-inch in the middle 2K to play on instead of the 4K because it was like I was getting frame drops. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna leak our stuff. I always don't know which one it is. Let me check the stuff really quick. 1 second. It's beautiful. Let me know if you want to change it. Share cam in Discord. Here. Gotta do this. In case I select the wrong one. There we go.
Professional street. I want you guys to know
Okay.
that Try's method for not leaking the DMs is just to hit X a bajillion times and then just X enter, so that way it tabs it out to the top of the screen. I want you guys to know.
Hey, it works.
Professional streamer.
Okay? Although I almost could have ended my stream because that would have been really bad. Oopsies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. You're on screen now. All right.
Yep.
Chat, how is Crimson's audio?
Hello, everybody. My name is CrimsonCasts, and this is an audio check. Please tell me if I'm the correct volume. I'm going to try not to adjust my mic and let Try get audio levels.
Solid. You're solidly right at the edge of the yellow. Absolutely perfect. It's almost as if I was adjusting your audio yesterday and I already knew what your mic settings were. Little louder, you freaking. Yeah.
A little louder? Why is he muted?
Do a little louder. Okay, we upped you.
The people clamor for more CrimsonCasts.
Yeah, he's gonna do most of the yapping this time around anyway, guys. So you're gonna get exactly what you want. I've already talked enough. They like to troll me. It's okay. You're talking. I know you're talking. Little louder equals timing out. Dude, I was trying to be I don't even know what I was doing. I was trying to VIP and then all of a sudden, I've never done that before where you can drag and then a bar appears and I was like, what does this do? And I timed you out. Sounds
like we're gonna need to have a race, me and you.
I would love to do that. I'd love for you to crush me, man. I think if
sounds like we're gonna give you a 5 div budget for Twink gear.
No,
and I get fresh start, and that levels the play. You get 5 div worth of Twink gear.
How about a random race in 0-5 when there's all these hells that'll shorten the gap between a speed racer like you and myself? Because I don't need to know the layouts as well anymore. I just look for these in-your-face environmental clues. I think that's going to help me out way more than it's going to help you, probably.
Probably, yeah.
So I think it might be a little closer if we do it during 0-5. Right now, it would be so bad. You don't think?
I don't think it'll be closer.
Okay, so now
we'll save it for the pod.
Now I almost want to do one now, and then in 0-5 to see if it is closer or not. But no, that's okay. By the way, my brother is already he wants to rematch me tonight, actually, but he doesn't want to do it on stream. He just wants to race. He
Just an
wants to
off-stream
rip me.
brother
Yeah,
v
yeah,
brother
yeah.
throwdown.
Yeah, we might do a throwdown. I'll see how late I can stay out. But
Maybe you should charge pay-per-view for that. Paywall
there
content
you
is popping
go.
off.
Anybody who wants to watch the Try Bro versus Try Race, $5. $5 on my Patreon. I'll stream live on members only on YouTube or on my Patreon. And we go. I think we could get at least maybe 3-4 people.
I think we might get 6, 7. Who knows?
6, 7. Okay. You're not even. You don't even. Do you have kids? You don't have kids. What is this? Come on. You're not. My daughter is 4.
Chat is like my kids. If you say 6, 7 enough times, you will get the chat react. It's a whole thing.
Okay. It's the engagement bait, right?
See, look, we've already gotten multiple people saying
6, 7.
6, 7 in chat. There you go.
It's
The
good.
chat engagement metrics. You're welcome.
Yep. And then we're going to be pushed to the top of the YouTube homepage. So guys, you could just spam the chat with some substance, not 6, 7, maybe like your favorite boss in Path of Exile 2, so we can get everybody in viewing this podcast.
Nah, just say 6, 7. Just say 6, 7.
6,
It's
7.
okay. That's enough.
This whole epidemic, maybe I should
Dude,
save
we've
that for
got
the pod.
first-time chatters coming out of the lurk to say 6, 7.
I'm literally seeing this. Well, dude, on a video a couple weeks ago, I said analyze instead of analyze, and I had 60 comments about it. It works. I didn't even do it on purpose.
What was the thing with the Jazzerth poster where it was you thought it was?
Oh, I thought it was Patrick Swayze, and apparently it was some, and I don't even know.
It was Jean-Claude Van Damme, wasn't it?
Is that a boxer or wrestler?
He's an actor who has a background in martial arts.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yep. That sounds correct. It was. I literally thought it was Patrick Swayze. I even did the whole and that wasn't engagement bait. I was just like riffing, and I said it, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep it in because that's just me. It just gives flair to my video, and I'm not just talking about the PoE2 stuff. And then people latched on. Apparently, it was very idiotic of me to not know who Jean-Claude Van Damme. What was his name?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. What a cool name. I think that's his real
Someone
name.
in chat needs to get the truck commercial where he does the splits between 2 big rig trucks. Somebody needs to get that and send it to Try.
Oh, that sounds crazy. Nice. I'm 29, guys. I don't know who this guy is. If he was in the 1970s, I think the only movies I've seen from the 70s is like Terminator. Maybe some. Like I've seen Casablanca. That's 1939. Like I don't know all the movie stars of the 70s and 80s, guys. I was watching That's So Raven and Hannah Montana and Cartoon Network and stuff like that when I was a kid, or when I was in the year 2000, 2001. I was 4 years old. I shouldn't have said that on stream. That was probably a bad idea.
No, it's all right. We were having a conversation on my stream the other day because I'm 30, so we're essentially the same age.
Right.
And
how do you know?
We were having a conversation the other day about like children's TV shows and which one was the most girly pop.
Oh.
And we eventually settled that at the top of the hierarchy above anything else is the TV show Totally Spies. But Barbie Swan Lake did make a strong run at it before being disqualified for being a movie and not a TV show.
See, I've never even heard of either of those before.
I grew up with a little sister.
You did? See, I didn't. I had just my brother. So, but now I know all the... Actually, my girls, they're kind of, or at least my 4-year-old, she's kind of like a tomboy. She likes boyish things. Like she really likes Paw Patrol toys, like a lot. And we spoil her way too much. She has like the Paw Patrol tower, the construction set from Rubble and Crew. Like there is basically a shrine of Paw Patrol in our living room where we have like 4 boxes of little pups. And
we've got to get her farming divines. We've got to get her logged in hardcore SSF. Why are we letting Paw Patrol?
She would love to sit on my lap and like try to play. I just don't like the screen stuff. I think that's the one thing. Even though I think that like the big screen is much better than the small screen, but that's honestly the one thing keeping me away from doing that. And the violence, the violence. But I started playing these games when I was like 3 or 4. And people think that's wild, but it's true. Like my dad introduced all this stuff to me when I was really young. Did you start playing stuff like this when you were pretty young, or did you get into it a little later?
No. My parents are very much of the like, whatever the movie rating is. If it's a PG-13 movie, you can't see it until you're 13. If it's a mature rated game, you can't do it until. So like it's the ESRB rating board or whatever for mature games, and they recommend the cutoff be 17, and they go, that's the rule. That's what the expert people did. So I was raised without this. My first exposure to ARPGs was watching older cousins play Diablo 1 and 2 in the early 2000s.
Got it. Okay. So you're like backseat gamer or sitting on like the computer, the rolly chair, or looking over the shoulder. Yeah. Yep.
In my aunt and uncle's basement in Maryland, I was.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was watching college-aged cousins. I must have been 8 or 10, and I would read the manual for like the lore, because the original Diablo 2 hardcover like case that it came in had a big manual, and so I would read that, and then I would watch them play Diablo 2, and that was about all that I had exposure to until much later.
Yeah, I have that. The case, I have it from my dad. My dad didn't want to keep it, so I took the box and the manual from, I don't know if it was like GameStop or Best Buy or something, but it's so torn up, but I have it in my basement. So that was the farthest I got into Diablo 2, because I read through that whole manual when I was a kid, but I didn't get very far in D2. I also remember having the manual for Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. Baldur's Gate 2, I tore apart that manual. I still have it as well, because I did play through that game fully. That was more my style when I was a kid. I played a little bit of Diablo, but what I really liked were those slower paced CRPGs like Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2. Those are the games I played when I was little. So okay. I'll do an official intro, because I'll cut all that stuff out. I did the experiment with DM of more IRL stuff, and the watch time on that was so much lower than every single other podcast I did. It was insane. And you can see in the retention graphs, because I have like it timestamped, people literally just skip Path of Exile 2, Path of Exile 2, Path of Exile 2. So I'm like, whatever. I get it. I get the audience I've carved. I'm not Joe Rogan or Blazeworks TV over here talking about, people's history and upbringings or anything. So have no illusion, but we'll get to a little bit in the pod. I can sneak one or two in there, especially with you, because you have a crazy life seemingly. So I got to ask about it.
So it is claimed. I don't know if I buy it, but
okay. Well, you go as deep as you want to go. I don't want to pressure you. Okay. All right. I'll do a little countdown. 3, 2. Oh wait, your camera quality just shit the bed. Let's wait a second until it comes back.
Oh no, did it?
Yeah. Okay, it's back. I think it might have been my internet too. Okay, it's all good. I think you're all good. Yep, you're set. All right. 3, 2, 1. It has been a long road to patch 0.5 for Path of Exile 2, but we are almost across the finish line, and I am here with the corruptor of casuals like myself, the speedrunning master, a caster in one of the official GGG races, and maybe even competing to go to ExileCon later this year. CrimsonCasts, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. Corruptor of Casuals is a new title, but I've been putting in work to get people more interested in speedrunning and like optimizing gameplay and stuff. So yeah, I appreciate the title.
If people don't know, like the past month and a half, Crimson has really been putting in the work to expose campaign speedrunning or just racing against others to the greater creator community, and not just those that are hyper optimizing their campaign runs. And he's even drawn me into the fray. He hosted a race between my brother and I just last night, which was ridiculously intense, and we'll get all into the race talk in a little bit, but I know people are champing, I got that right, at the bit for everyone's opinions on patch 0.5. So I want to start off with asking you, everything that we've seen in the patch so far, what are you most pumped about? Is it something that's under the radar or something that is at top of everyone's minds?
So everyone's taking W's but me. I want to be clear. It's a big W patch full of endgame content for endgame players, and I'm happy for y'all, but 0.5 doesn't have the stuff that I want. And that's not because of swords. It's because like the information that would make me excited about a patch is a bunch of like numerical balance information. So maybe we see them take really big swings at adjusting the tree and rescaling stuff. But until we get the patch notes right now, it's, for me as someone who cares primarily about racing as being the way that I engage the game, it's just another patch, and I'm happy for everybody else.
So are you going to be doing a Giga stream tomorrow analyzing all the patch notes 2 days from now when all the patch notes drop?
Yep. Like my 0.4 patch notes reveal stream took 17 hours.
Oh,
so we're probably going to be doing a real long stream where we're sitting in Path of Building, like really min-maxing, leveling strats and stuff for a long time. That's my type of jam.
See, so you and I are totally on the opposite ends of the spectrum then. I'd be curious to hear from you, and I know this is totally uncontroversial. What balance swings, like you said, maybe they'll take some heavy swings. What would you be most amped to see in the patch notes when they do drop in 2 days?
Do I have to limit my request to the scope of reality, or am I allowed to
let's just go all out. Let's yap. Let's imagine that the past 3 weeks, GGG has been content is good, done. Let's just do balance these 3 weeks. Let's surprise them. We said balance wasn't the focus of this, but let's go hard on balance for these next couple weeks.
So I made a video about changes I want on the tree, and so there's a lot there if people are really curious for the minutia of what I want. But a lot of it is the way that defenses are implemented in Path of Exile 2. I have 2 main frustrations with your basic defenses: evasion, ES, armor, and one is there's this generic type of node that exists that goes plus X to your Y for every X on your equipped helmet. Right? So you think of nodes like Subterfuge Mask and Spectral Ward, and there are ones in the other hybrid areas of the tree. And those are, 1, very uninteresting to me as ways to scale defenses, and 2, pigeonhole players into using particular item-based types. And I just don't think that that's an interesting way to scale defenses in the game. So I would like to see a pretty serious nerf to Subterfuge Mask and Spectral Ward and Leatherbound Gauntlets and the other ones that work in similar ways. And then even more boldly, a lot of the way that the math is implemented to convert either your armor or your evasion rating into your physical damage reduction or your chance to evade a hit, I think that the topology of those equations is poorly thought out in Path of Exile as a franchise. I don't think that armor should scale with the size of the incident hit, for example, and that means that I would if it were my dream patch, they would be completely reworking the armor equation itself, which is not something that they're going to do.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the armor equation from PoE 1 to PoE 2 was changed as well, and it actually made armor worse in PoE 2. Am I remembering this crypt video from a long time ago accurately?
So between the 2 games, they have the same shape of equation, but some of the constants in that equation got changed in the transition from PoE 1 to PoE 2. Whereas I'm saying the actual structure of the equation itself, I don't want them to change the constants. I want them to use a completely different type of equation.
So I remember you were actually talking about this on stream a couple nights ago. What would this equation look, and I'm punching above my weight class here.
No.
What would this equation look like? Would you say it would just scale linearly with investment? Would it be logarithmic? What would that look like for?
So my problem right now is that the thing that is generally threatening to players in Path of Exile 2 is dying in a very short time span. Almost no one has an attrition-based death where it takes you 20 or 30 seconds to end up in a scarier and scarier situation. You tend to die, maybe not to a big slam, but to something that happens over the course of 1 to 3 seconds. And what that means is that armor, which does a really good job at dealing with small hits and a really bad job at dealing with large hits, is mostly irrelevant at dealing with the things that are actually functionally threatening to most players.
Right.
In most gameplay circumstances. Because mobs stop being threatening to you at all by the end of Act 4. You have enough damage to clear white packs and you're not under threat anymore. And so what I would like is to remove hit size scaling from armor. What that means as far as how it scales into endgame and the relative strength that players should have defensively against content is different. I'm just saying I have this problem with hit size scaling where armor is bad at big hits and
Right.
good at small ones, and that leads to us seeing that leads to frustrating itemization problems for armor-based characters because they don't have solutions to deal with big hits, especially because we lack
Yeah.
life on tree scaling right now, right? So you can't just build your max hit pool very large as a strength character compared to what you can do with ES. So
Exactly.
like if they're not going to put life on tree, then giving armor-based characters some better way to deal with like larger hits and changing the hit size scaling is something that I would like, but that's way beyond anything that'll ever actually happen in real life.
Right. They just, it looks like they're trying to just experiment with adding new methods of defense in the game. Obviously, they're adding Runic Ward in this patch. They're also just flat out buffing like armor bases. I saw in a Dreamcore video, it might work out to like 42% or something if that math holds into the actual patch. Then they're adding other avenues of getting max life. Like there's a new ring base type that's like the Vermilion ring from Path of Exile 1. I do not know the base type in Path of Exile 2, but come on, gamers. I do know some Path of Exile 1 stuff, okay? So they are trying to introduce avenues for those pure strength characters, but your solution would be to actually just completely reinvent, at least in PoE 2, how everything is calculated. That's interesting. It would be curious to hear the devs' thoughts on something that granular. I'm wondering if they would ever talk on it.
Like, I mean, so to be clear, there are a lot of like tuning levers that exist in PoE 1 that don't yet exist in PoE 2, like various types of damage conversion and other various things. Also, life on tree, for that matter, is much more available in PoE 1 than 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to the arrival of those systems, but because neither of the other fundamental defense types scale with hit size at all, making a fundamentally balanced comparison between like different types of defenses is not possible right now, because in order for you to say like, would it be better to have armor or evasion in this circumstance, you have to start asking questions about, for example, the hit size, which is not true in the case of other games that have armor and evasion systems where you get damage reduction from one and chance to dodge from the other.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, when obviously the last couple classes they're introducing are strength, melee, right? So a lot of them invest into armor. I wonder if they're waiting to introduce these mechanics. And I'll go back to Path of Exile 1. Like Fortify is one that a lot of people always invest into. That's really hard for casters or other variety of builds to spec into, but really easy for these melee armor-based users. Maybe they're not like changing it or revamping it right now because they feel like, okay, well, the archetypes except for warrior aren't in the game yet, so we're saving it to add when the duelist comes in with swords and the marauder with axes and everything. And that's being very charitable to grinding gear games, because when addressed about this, I feel like that is something they could say. They'd be like, hey, we got some mechanisms we're going to put into place when these classes come into the game. We're kind of saving it. We're not going to blow our load right now. We want you to be pumped for all these armor changes when they eventually do come. But they don't say that. They kind of just say, more fine tuning, all the defenses are asymmetric. I think they were talking about it with Ziggy. I think Mark was talking about defenses a little bit, and it got me a little confused just when they were talking about their philosophy on defenses and everything. And I don't know what the direction is going to be. We'll just have to see, I suppose. So
yeah, it'll be. Long story short, like, I think that PoE 2 is actually in a good spot overall. Like, I'm not saying that I dislike the current defensive system. Just that the thing that would get me excited is that I care a lot about the mathematical refinement of systems implementation. And so, like, that's my, like, preferred solution. But there are a lot of things that borrow history from PoE 1 or from other ARPGs that I would also be excited to see. And since I haven't played PoE 1, I'm often, when I bring up these opinions, educated by people who have played a lot of PoE 1. And my touchstone for comparison is other ARPGs. And so
other ARPGs.
I care a lot. Or actually things outside the ARPG genre as far as their defensive systems implementation. Like For example, the way that armor converts to physical damage reduction in Dota is very close to what I want implemented in PvE2, for example.
Oh, okay. Oh, we might need to talk about that for a little bit because I
Yeah.
was a massive Dota 2 player. Never Dota 1. Dota 2 though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll save that for a
Yeah.
little later. So if we squeeze the scope a little bit, Crimson, and we look at something realistic, what do you think would be best for the game if it were changed on patch note day? Something you go into the patch notes and you're just ecstatic that it's there. Something like, trigger being revamped drastically, or added attack time being cut by 30% on maces, something like that. Is there anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people bring up the topic of like items being too powerful and tree being too weak.
Yeah.
I think about that same issue a little bit differently than some other people express it, which is that I think that item modifiers create too much variance between good and bad items, and that swamps the difference in good and bad trees. So, for example, if you and I were both playing like warrior and you find a really good mace on your playthrough and I don't, there is no amount of me taking points out of my defenses and putting them into my damage that will catch me up to you, which is related to what people say about trees too weak, items are too strong. But the way that I think about it is like the variance of item power is too high. And so I often bring this up as saying like, if you buffed the base damage of the item and removed some damage from the affixes, then you would end up with a much smaller range of damage between, say, the very best mace and a completely dog water one. And that would allow the player's agency and decisions to matter more. And you could still have a substantive, big, impactful difference. But like right now, a level 16 studded Great Hammer, if you hit the best roll of flat lightning on it, that lightning affix has as much damage as the base item itself, which means if you slam 18% physical damage plus some accuracy rating and I slam lightning damage, I have twice as much damage as you, and there's just no amount of entree investment that'll catch you up to me. And so that's like, I think you can still have, for example, a weapon be 60% stronger than another weapon, or even with multiple affixes, twice as strong as another weapon. But I think that there's often a fatalist response to this topic when I bring it up, where people go like, then all weapons would be the same and there's nothing exciting happening anymore. To which my response is like, your damage going up by 60% isn't something that feels substantive to you?
Right.
Okay. Next time your boss offers you a 60% raise, since that makes no difference to you, just mail it to me instead, okay?
There you go.
No. People behave as though it's not like tripling your damage, you're not going to notice it. I think that that's not a good way to approach the game. So long story short, I think like damage variance, especially during leveling and like early mapping, like up until you get into T15s and you have a chance to craft really good stuff, the variance between good and bad is like really large right now. And I think that there's a decent chance that GGG does something to address that variance. It could be changing modifiers. It could be giving us more of the deterministic stuff in campaign, like better access to essences and runes and things that allow us to push that damage floor up with, some of the weaker essences would still push the damage floor up quite a bit for players. And so I think that there's a chance we see a push in that direction.
Yeah, we already know some affixes such as plus skill gems, they're going to have, at least the top end is going to be nerfed a little bit. We don't know how that's going to play out, but lowering or upping the base damage and lowering the damage increases from the affixes is an interesting solution that I actually haven't really heard a lot of people present solutions like this, or any real solutions. They are like me, I just say, hey, I think this is a problem, it's too swingy, you have no idea how so much more powerful than another player, and some people don't even realize the gap that there is. I mean, according to GGG themselves, this is a great thing to talk about too. I want to hear your take on it.
Mm-hmm.
They said in the Q&A that people think boss fights take too long. Okay, no, people think that boss fights take a too short amount of time. Okay, and bosses are too easy, right? And they said, your average streamer might be doing, I think it was 8 seconds. Okay. Well, the average player, I think they said average player might take 2 minutes on that boss fight. And that difference is okay in their eyes, and that they don't think some top end builds need to be nerfed, but that variance is like okay in their eyes. w- wouldn't squishing, as you proposed, basically the weapon strength and allowing more determinism to add to character power help address that? Because I think that's like a 14 or 15x difference between the two amount of times, which is crazy in my eyes.
So it depends on like when you say like would it help? It depends whether or not you think that there's a problem with like top end speedrunnery blastery people who have lots of game knowledge being 15 times faster than first time players or even than average players, right? Because the example that Mark brought up in that interview was that the average duration of the Forsaken Sun fight in mid Act 2 is 119 seconds. And so that's not like comparing a competitive speedrunner person or some top, blaster streamer guy to a complete first-time player. It's comparing them to the average player. And so my thought is like I would rather bosses take me personally twice as long, and I'm definitely in that 8-second camp. I would rather it be like if the fight takes me 30 seconds instead of 8 seconds, I'm still 4 times faster than the average player, but the fight still has some chance for the boss to be threatening to me or to require me to know the mechanics, and I would much prefer that balance.
Yeah.
There are other people who look at a 15x balance and they think like they don't see a problem with that. So like
it's so tough to balance, like, because people are at each other's throats almost about this whole fact. Like I'm on your side, the whole like, 30 seconds. Great. You see some boss moves. You have to engage with the boss. You're still doing it way faster than the average and way faster than the first time noob, right? I think that would be great. Honestly, I think it would be great for the game, great for balance, great for content, everything. But so many people want to be able to blast the boss down.
To give you an example, like, because people are going to be, just to clarify essentially about this, like if you push up the floor of damage by a lot, the average player might go from, say, 2 minutes to 1.5 minutes because they have a much better weapon. And then I'm saying I want both the floor to be pushed up so the average player or the mediocre player or the new player doesn't struggle as much as they currently do. And also the ceiling pushed down. Maybe that's a reduction in top-end player power. Maybe that's a buff to the HP of campaign bosses. Right. But, like, long story short, I want the campaign harder for me. And, like, I also want there to be less variance, which has benefits for the average player and benefits for me.
Right.
So,
I totally understand that, and I do agree with you. It sounded like GGG, at least now, we're kind of, okay with the current balance, and that's why I've really appreciated just doing this whole speed running racing thing, because it has brought back my love for the game. I swear, guys, if you haven't tried it, push yourself to not skip everything, but not be as powerful in the campaign. And you actually have to, like, I've been paying attention to all the boss mechanics. All the monsters are super scary. I need to know what they do. The flamethrower guys in Agam Manor. Oh my gosh, I got to watch out for those dudes. You got to know all the boss mechanics. You got to know what items to pick up and win. Like, it's so much fun. Speed running the campaign in 0.4 makes me feel like I'm playing 0.1 just at a much faster pace. And I love that, because everything really does seem to be a challenge. Now, I know if I was, better, I could make it look like Angormus. Like, I watched his run, and he's basically tanking, 75% of the moves. He knows exactly how much damage they're always going to deal and how many flash charges he has, right? But me playing it as not so skilled, man, it's so much fun.
But that's one of the things that's interesting, right? Is like, if you talk to Angormus, or if you watch him coaching someone on Warrior for the first time, a lot of his advice to people, or a lot of my advice when I'm coaching people on speedrun builds I'm familiar with, is like, you just have to play way more defensively than you think you do.
Yeah.
And so from the outside, there's this persistent perspective among people who are not familiar with the speedrun that people are like, oh my God, you're tanking everything. And it's more like, I know exactly where I will be threatened, and that requires much more engagement. Whereas, like, when I'm playing on endgame characters, I am not like consciously looking to the edge of my monitor to see like what is coming off of the edge of the screen in order to figure out if I need to dodge because they're a projectile mob, and that means that they can light stun me out of my animation, and then I need to position this. Like, it just feels less engaging the better geared my character is. And a lot of people, for them, the journey is about that they enjoy getting to the point that their build does invalidate the content and it does become, the 0 to hero progression stuff. But, for me, that's when the game gets boring. So
that was a great call. Yeah, me too. Great call out there too about like me thinking that, whoa, he's taking over. You're right. As I'm thinking to that, Draven as an example, because in the Draven fight, and Gormus, when I was watching, and Gormus tanked the small blast from Assinia, and then he just breathed at the last second, right moved outside the massive blast. That's like, he knew exactly, I can tank that, need to play super defensively with that. And if I make the mistake, I'm totally done. Another one was, I think you pointed out in the rundown, okay, we're in, I think it was one of the mausoleums, and you're like, oh no, it was the Red Veil, and you're like, okay, got to go for the ranged monsters, have to go for the poisoners. You have to pay attention. Don't look at the melee mobs. Take out the ranged mobs first, and the melee mobs will follow. You actually had to pay attention to the enemy designs. I love that. So I have only been speedrunning Act 1. I'm so pumped to try to break into Act 2. I'm probably gonna do it just on League launch. And I'm gonna be met with just a freaking wall, dude. I just feel like I'm gonna get crushed in Act 2, and it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna feel kind of like like I said, the 01 experience, because in 03 and 04, I just blasted through. It was very easy, not a lot of pushback. But if you play like this, if you choose, like almost like you're choosing your own fun, playing your own way, I mean, you can have a blast. So
and one of the things that I want to say, by the way, because I do a lot of promoting of speedrunning, and there's a persistent question of like people asking like, why would you play the game if you're going to run past everything? Or like, do I need to speedrun? Like, why are people so obsessed with speedrunning? If you enjoy playing more methodically, like, good. Like, play however you enjoy. Yeah. Like, I personally don't buy into... A lot of people represent the economic advantage of getting to maps early as being, like, the be-all, end-all of your complete League experience. And I think that effect is real, but that it's overrepresented. Like, I think if you get to maps in 10 hours instead of 6 hours, or 12 hours instead of 6 hours, you're still going to be able to fully gear your character. You're still going to be able to craft and trade enough to afford your chase uniques. Like,
right.
I think that economic effect is like overrepresented, and that's not why I'm interested in speedrunning. So if you're listening and you're like not interested in speedrunning, like, good. So long as you're enjoying the game, I don't care.
Yeah, and see, I wasn't even thinking, in Crimson, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like a lot of people do speedrun to get to the icon, like to get to the best items faster, to corner a market. That literally didn't even enter my mind. I've just been thinking, wow, that's so much fun. I just want to do that. It's like the game is challenging, right? So I wonder how many people do think like that. Like, guys, if you've been like me, I released a bunch of videos in the lead up to 05 talking about meaningful combat, challenge in game, This is literally what I was looking for. Like, it's not, you're not going slow, but man, is all the combat meaningful? Are all the monsters meaningful? You have to pay attention. It's so engaging. So I know speedrunning, I think it comes with a little bit of almost an elitist connotation. Guys, I am the farthest from an elitist there is. I am freaking loving it. Crimson is like a big, lovable teddy bear. He's been so welcoming to me. And I mean, my brother, who, hasn't done any content at all and is like a complete noob on the scene. He's so nice, so nice. And it's been so much fun. So I highly recommend giving it a go. If you think it'll suck, just try an Act 1 speedrun. Just try to, try to push yourself. That's what Crimson did to me, and I had a blast, and now I'm addicted, dude. Doing Act 1 speedruns at 11 p.m. at night.
You're gonna have to win one of the races soon, so we can get you a
dude.
Denny.
I know. Yeah. I have to do Act 2. I have to do the other acts. I'm gonna sequentially progress. So I'm gonna practice in the 05 launch, and we'll see how that goes. I'm scared. I'm really scared I'm going to get my butt kicked and sent back to the beach pretty much. We'll have to see though. Okay, so since we've been talking about speedrunning for just a little bit, obviously one of the biggest early game changes happening with 0.5, now I'm saying it like you, Crimson, is the campaign. The campaign...
Well, hold on. What's this meme of like, I say 0.5 some way that gets people in my YouTube comments upset? What's the problem?
Don't you remember?
What?
I'm engaging baiting, just like you said 6.7 earlier.
Oh.
I'm saying 0.5, so everybody's like,
But
say
I
it
don't know
like
why
a-
people are upset with 0.5. What's wrong with 0.5?
I don't. That's how GGG says it. Like Mark and Jonathan say 0.50, 0.5.
Now, when I'm doing the YouTube narrator voice, I do say 0.5, or like I draw it out sometimes.
that might
but
be it.
you know,
That might be it. It's like there's that almost connotation with maybe girls sometimes go like 0.5, kind of, does it sound like that? I think it kind of sounds like that. Maybe that's what it is. And people are like, oh man, I don't know if I like that.
I'm too Californian for them.
Californian. Yes. It's like,
Yeah.
there you go. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 0.5, lots of campaign changes in the form of these little clues that are happening. Would love to know if you think, how much you think these will affect the average player's campaign run, and if it's going to address the slog that Jonathan is reading of in the YouTube comments, in the Steam community comments, or if this won't have as grand an effect as I and many others think it will.
Well, so there are a couple of things that are changing, and they're going to have separate effects. One is a lot of zone shapes and sizes are being reworked, especially for really disliked zones, for your Freythorns, your Venom Crypts, your Izak Bogs, your Motlin Waterways. Those are being, from what we know so far, those are being condensed, or their shape is changing, or their size is changing, and I think that that has a pretty significant effect for people in their first playthrough back in 0.5. In ARPGs that have like a more mature ladder reset knowledge base among the player base. So if you look at like Diablo 2 Resurrected or Path of Exile 1, where the community has had many years for wayfinding knowledge to disseminate much further, I think that we're probably not likely to see a really significant influence from the wayfinding for several more patches.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to take time for the average player to know to look for the direction that this such and such river flows, or to recognize, like, I'll give you an example right now. There's a wayfinding technique in the campaign right now, an environmental clue that I've never heard anyone know, and I only know it because I was told directly by a level designer that it's true. In Act 4, when you go to Isle of Kin and you go into the volcanic warrens, the sort of indoor magma area, the direction that the lava is flowing and the background environmental art points toward the boss of the area.
Oh, to Krutog. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's already in the game.
That's so subtle.
So like as a consequence, I think it's going to take a really long time before, like, first off, there are several in the game that the wider gameplay community may not have as much visibility on right now. Some of them are starting to get out there. For example, like Trader's Passage, we talk about the yellow post-it notes on the wall pointing toward Balbala. Or there are already zones in the game where like they point out in the reveal that you can see mushrooms on the ground as you get closer to the entrance to the Grim Tangle. It's already the case in the game that there are mushrooms on the ground a couple of tiles away before you can see the Grim Tangle entrance.
Right.
Like there are already some environmental clues, and I just think if PoE 1 players, or like me coming from Diablo 2, if you compare that to people knowing tile set generations for all these things in PoE 1, I just think it's going to be several patches until we see that knowledge get collected and then eventually put into nice written guides on all the guide sites and put into YouTube videos, and then people have time to tell their friends, and then it becomes more common knowledge. I think that that's going to take like multiple patch cycles.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it here and it's just not bubbling around in my head, I think it's just going to affect the people who are playing the campaign a lot and are already really invested in the game, and they're looking out for these things. They are looking for ways to do the campaign faster. They're not necessarily the average player. For the average player, they're going to see it in a YouTube short, or like you said, they're going to look up ways to get through PoE 2 campaign faster in 0.6 or 1.0, and they're going to see this list of things. They're going to be like, whoa, you're kidding me? You follow the lava and you go to Krutog? Or there are mushrooms on the ground leading to they're not going to see it in game. But for those people who are like, man, the campaign taking so much time, man, wait, Juju's adding all this stuff to the game. Okay, I'm going to be on the lookout, because they're already invested. They watched the reveal, they watched probably Juju's video about the campaign clues. they're going to be on the lookout, but that's not the average player. That's probably like, the top 10, 20% of people, So
like, I think that a lot of
right.
people, I think that a lot of people who are super invested don't recognize where they are in the investment hierarchy, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of people will be like, well, they announced it in the reveal and therefore people are going to know about it.
Yeah.
I think that the player base, if you take any one individual thing that was announced in the reveal, it's not going to be known widely by the player base unless it's like the main league mechanic or the main highlight reel thing of the league. So I think that a lot of these details where you and I refer to, like, there's this one 12-second snippet where Mark says that the average time for the Forsaken Sun is 119 seconds. Nobody knows that, dog. Yes, Mark said it.
Right.
Yes, it was on a major broadcast. I totally get it. The average player is not going to know, like, not going to remember that 6 weeks from now. So I do hope that there's a bigger push toward the player base, like more of these environmental clues being disseminated further. And I do think that there is going to be like really significant increased visibility for those things because of these efforts. I still think it'll take months.
Yeah.
I still think it'll take months until the average player, until your middle of the road person who's coming back for their 4th or 5th or 6th league actually knows most of the environmental tells and actively looks for them. I think that that's going to be quite a long time.
That's sensible. I think you're right that the more impactful change right away will be those layout changes that are coming, especially to the more hated zones. And man, that's going to be so interesting to see walking in after all these patches running, seeing how substantial they are, because I'm sure they're not going to fully detail stuff in the patch notes. It's just going to be on launch day. We're going to see the new layouts for the first time. It's going to be exciting, man. This patch, it's girthy. It's girthy. It's so exciting, dude. I'm ready.
I think some of the zone shape changes, I'll be curious to see the public reaction, because as someone who spent a lot of time like literally memorizing the zone shapes for different places, I wonder if there are going to be changes that I think are really significant, that, because I have all this like specialized time invested in memorizing it, that other people may not even notice. And I also wonder if the reverse is going to be true, that people are going to be like astounded by some change that I think is really subtle. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to about the 0.5 cycle, is like calling up people who maybe aren't as invested in speedrun optimization as I am and getting like the diversity of opinions, because I expect there's going to be some perspective difference there that I will probably find really interesting.
Yeah, there's so many changes happening throughout the campaign and the end game too. I was talking with Definitive the other day, and he thought it would be kind of a cool experiment. I don't know, we'll try to rally the other creators that we have on our super, super secret Discord to post how long it takes, like your slash played, finishing the campaign, the new campaign, and then finishing all the end game quests, and then maxing out your Atlas. Seeing how long it takes, because GGG is kind of said, oh, this is going to be a lengthy process that you're going to go through. And I'd be very curious to see if, maybe, is it going to take you 40 hours? Is it going to take me 120 hours? Or is this going to be,
who knows? Yeah.
Like, I'm very curious to see what this is going to look like, because I'm almost viewing the new end game quest lines as a secondary campaign that is a sandbox at the start, because you get there and you are approached with 9 different quests that you can go through and complete, and you're not getting skill points for yourself. You're getting skill points for your Atlas, and you're going to want to go through and complete all that stuff at some point. So it's basically like a giant act, if you will, but you have complete control over what you're doing. Yeah, I probably shouldn't use that comparison, because people will not be happy with that analogy. That's how I kind of view it. Endgame.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see the response of like imagine if the average campaign time goes down really significantly. Like, let's say that the average time to maps right now is 20 hours, and in the next patch it's like 14.
Yeah.
Right.
They should. I wonder. They've never shared that data, right? Average campaign.
No, nor would they.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Nor would they.
Wow.
But imagine that that's what the difference is, 20 to 14. And imagine that I think that there would still be people who right now are actually really far above average, and they're getting to maps in 6 or 8 hours. And they get to maps in 4 or 5 hours instead, and they're still frustrated because they want to have it be 2 hours. Right. So I'll be curious to see, like, not just what the size of the improvement is, but also like how much it would take to sate the population as a whole, of like do we need it to get to 2 hours before people are happy?
Oh, that's wild. 2 hours. Man, I've seen some like, is it sub 3 or is it like 3.5 is kind of like the mega speed runner average right now?
3.5.
3.5?
3.5 for 1 to maps is like the top of the top of the top right now.
That's wild. Yeah, I won't hit that probably ever. Okay, one last overall 0-5 question for you, Crimson.
Mhm.
If we were to launch tomorrow with what we've learned from the reveal and not knowing the patch notes, what would you want to start as?
Well, we don't have patch notes yet, so I don't know.
I know. You don't have patch notes. So what's your best top league starter guaranteed to get to map skill Arbiter Divinity? That's what we're going to brand this as.
I mean, so many skills. I don't want to say anything because what if GGG is watching and nerfs my build? No, the thing that I would probably be playing would be I would be leveling as a Witch Hunter because Sorcery Ward is extremely strong. It's probably either the best or second best defensive ascendancy investment in the game right now. So since I'm really interested in pushing to high tier content as fast as I can, because I'm going to be trying to ladder race this season, I'd probably be starting as a Witch Hunter, and then what like skill I transition to in maps after leveling with grenades, I don't know.
Okay.
If it happened today, it would probably be Galvanic Shards and Stormblast bolts.
Okay.
But I'm not 100. I mean, like, I just need patch notes. I'd
Right.
probably level as Witch Hunter and then transition Witch Hunter with grenades, and then transition to some faster scaling, Herald chaining, run around, clear big things, get a bunch of XP super fast.
So you're looking to actually challenge the SSF ladder instead of trying shiny new toys?
Yeah, I don't know if I have like a specific rank in mind that I'm shooting for, but
Okay.
like I am going to be trying to get up there on the SSF ladder.
Okay.
Top 10, top 20, top 5, top
Okay.
1, who knows? But like I am going to be pushing for ladder position. So
Are you particularly excited for any of the new boss fights, or is that something that's kind of secondary to you? You more so enjoy the grind and the stacking of stats on your character power?
I'm fundamentally competitively motivated. So the thing that interests me is like trying to get places fast more than like what the place is, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for new boss fights and it looks super cool, but like I'm mostly motivated by the competitive aspect of things in gaming in general. So
Okay, well that rolls me perfectly into our next topic, Crimson. So obviously 0-5 is coming up, and after that we're going to see a pretty substantial break for a major content update for PoE2. It's probably going to be 1.0 in November or December, but between now and then we have ExileCon on November 7th and 8th, and at ExileCon is going to be essentially the culmination of all the race events that GGG has been hosting since 0-1. The most investment they've really done in races since the early days of Path of Exile 1. So as, a speedrunner, a commentator, a racer who's competed in these events, we know nothing about the qualifiers for ExileCon. We don't know the format. We don't know who will be the top competitors and everything. So I'd love if you could give us almost like a play-by-play story time of how you would like to see this all play out. Like in terms of what the race is going to be to qualify, what the ExileCon race should be, and maybe who you think is in competition for those 4 coveted spots.
Sure. So I'm a big fairness enjoyer, and I want the best players to qualify. So regardless of who those players are. So having a format that does a lot to actually be efficient at deciding who is the best without, oh, well, so-and-so got a really good weapon this particular run, and since it was a best of 1, that's it. So I would like a couple of different things. One is run-to-run variance based on item RNG is really large right now. And so a format where we have multiple qualifier races and have an average of some of those races be your qualifying score would be really cool. The sort of dream for me would be what's called a removed mean of 5. We run 5 times, we delete your best time and your worst time, and we average the middle 3. So that way if you get, you get a completely free headhunter in your first one, and you on the third one you get, no regal orbs for the entire run. We delete those and we average the middle 3.
Okay.
So I'd like some format like that. The other thing is that there's a significant but hard to measure difference in loading screen times between regions. I say hard to measure because like we definitely know that people have better and worse loading screens than one another, but it's hard to decide how much of that is due to server latency versus people's individual computers. There's some possibility that GGG can measure loading screen times and subtract it from overall timing, which would be great. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Other ARPGs, by the way, have gone through this. For example, Diablo 2, their leaderboards, they have a plugin that measures your loading screen frames and removes them from your speedrun.com submission time.
Oh,
So
wow.
load removed timing is already a standard in some other ARPGs, including Diablo 2 speedrunning. So it's possible in PoE 2, but actually implementing it is a lot of developer effort depending on what implementation you choose. So with that in mind, the more interesting thing to me would be a regional qualifier format. So that way you're only competing against people in your same region. So if all the Europeans go, oh, the North Americans have a loading screen advantage because the authority server is in Texas. Okay, then we have a European qualifier. We have an Asia-Oceania qualifier. We have a North American qualifier. And then we have a wild card to get a fourth person. And so that way, if you sort of divide the world into the Americas qualifier versus the Europe and Africa qualifier versus the Asia-Oceania qualifier, that would be a very interesting format for me.
Okay.
And the combination of those two things where there are, multiple races to average out RNG, and then there's a regional qualifier format to compensate for the loading screen stuff. I think that would do as good of a job as is reasonable to get the best people there. The other half of the format, though, is like, what are we actually racing to in the qualifiers, which we don't know. I don't know. Although I hosted one race, I have no inside knowledge because, like, I want to compete, right? So I don't want to be disqualified by having special insider knowledge.
Right.
So I've told people, don't tell me stuff. I want to be, I want to not know. Because of when it is in like the schedule of ExileCon itself, the ExileCon finals race is probably at most going to be 3 to 4 hours in duration, which means like it might be a full campaign race. It might be what we have now, which is a Tavakai race. It could be something slightly shorter, like a race to kill Doriani, but it probably won't be like a full hardcore SSF level 1 to Uber Arbiter race.
No.
That would be great, but it's not going to happen. And so it depends on game balance, but I think either Doriani or Tavakai is the format that I'm interested in.
Okay.
So,
any percentage?
Yeah, and I mean, I always want, like, personally, I'm okay with racing being pretty dissimilar to league starting, and so like all the weird, edge use case stuff that people come up with because it's any percent and you're trying to see what you can get away with. Do I ascend? Do I not ascend? Type stuff. I like that. So for me, it would be like Tavakai any percent or Duriani any percent would be pretty interesting. So
yeah, I think that would be pretty exciting. And the qualifier system, when you were laying it out, it sounded just reminiscent of Dota, just with the regional splits and everything, and having more than just, because I imagine what they're likely going to do is just the top 4, right? That's just, they're going to do what, 4 races and the top finisher from each goes. I think that's what they did for ExileCon before. Yeah. I'd reckon it's the same, but that your system that you outlined is way more.
We have better technology now,
right? And there's a lot on the line. What's the prize? Like $10K, and the 4 participants get flown out. They
haven't announced prize pool format for this, and a lot of things are possible.
$1 million.
Again, to borrow from Dota culture, in principle, they could sell a supporter pack where 50% of the proceeds goes to the ExileCon finals pool. They could. That's a thing that's possible. They could have a $500,000 ExileCon finals if they did that, right? Like, I don't know.
That would be so hype.
But if it's similar to previous,
they're not going to do that.
If it's similar to previous ExileCons, the total prize pool is going to be about $20,000 US, with $10,000 US for first place.
They can do more. They're so big now. Come on, GGG. I know you're making bank.
I want them to sell a supporter pack and do it, but again, I'm also one of the competitors, and so I have a vested interest in the prize pool.
I would buy a race supporter pack that they released 100%. $60, half goes to the race prize pool. Oh my goodness, dude, they should do that. All right, I'm gonna message GGG. I'm gonna be like, do it.
Imagine the ExileCon finals being like a $500,000 race. It'd be sick.
Be so sick. And this game, I mean, now that it can get intense. It can get so intense, man.
Yeah.
That would be very
so
interesting.
Long story short, my ideal format would be like a total of 15 races. I don't want them run all at the same time because I enjoy the narrative of like, if we did regional qualifiers, I would compete in the North American qualifier, but I could either watch and be a fan of or potentially host the other qualifiers.
Right.
And so I would like, if it were a regional qualifier format, which I would really like, then I would like them to be run at different times. And so a best of 3 or a best of 5 for 3 different regionals is a lot of races, right?
Yeah, so. Man, you're laying it out. If they really wanted to invest into the Path of Exile 2 esports scene, ExileCon and 1.0 would be an excellent launching off point. I mean, the excitement and the stakes would be off the charts if they did a bigger prize pool. I'd reckon it's going to be bigger than the prior ExileCons, but a funded prize pool, like going back to the days of Dota when they used to do that, because they don't do it anymore, right?
Not anymore, no.
Right, yeah, so sad. Me and my wife probably dropped. Guys, don't get upset at us. This is before we had kids. A couple $1,000s on Dota 2 battle passes. I mean, my wife needed we haven't played Dota in 4 years. She needed the Windrunner Arcana. She needed the barefoot, thigh high Windrunner Arcana.
She needed the female anti-mage persona.
We had stopped playing at the female. That is right around when we stopped playing. She didn't get the female anti-mage, but we got like the Windrunner. I remember the Earthshaker Arcana, the Invoker persona where he's Baby Invoker, right? But I mean, even back to TI3, TI4, TI5, we bought all that. I was hyper invested in that entire scene. And honestly, I mean, we're just segueing like we're pros, dude. This was right into my next question. I think I know how this happened, but I'd love for you to lay it out. How did you get into professionally casting and participating in games like this? Where did you begin, Crimson?
So, good segue. So before I was super invested in ARPGs, so this is 5 to 8 years ago, I was spending a huge amount of time in the North American amateur Dota scene. There are a couple of different amateur Dota leagues. There's 82L, the Amateur Dota 2 League. There's RD2L, the Reddit Dota 2 League. There's MD2L, the Midwest Dota 2 League, and so on and so forth. And I'm not good at Dota, to be clear. I'm below average, but very passionate. And one of the things that you would do as a courtesy for your friends is if your team was in one of these amateur tournaments and you were on by that week, you would Twitch stream someone else's game as a watch along. And so I started doing that, and I'm a prodigious yapper. I just, lots of words per minute from me. And so my friends liked when I did it, and I received a lot of positive feedback. And eventually, the first thing that happened was one of the organizations that was involved in that amateur Dota league also had a professional team. So it was like a brand that, like, you could use the branding assets of the professional team for your amateur team if you had a deal with them.
Yeah.
And they ended up reaching out to me because that professional team was going to host a fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Okay.
Where they were going to have shoutcasted Dota matches where people who donated could influence things that would happen in the game.
Oh.
And they had liked my amateur casting of my friends, and they offered to have me MC the event. And then eventually that became a regular thing where I was MCing small Dota tournament things by request for friends, mostly for free. And then eventually I realized I probably had enough of a casting highlight reel to try to get some part-time money by casting tier 2 and tier 3 Dota. And so I made $50 a game to broadcast some very low tier, very high tier amateur, very low tier professional Dota.
Yeah.
And then that's sort of how the name CrimsonCasts comes from that, because I'm Crimson and these are my shoutcasts.
Nice.
And so
nice.
that's what the Twitch channel name is.
Oh,
I'm not CrimsonCasts. I'm Crimson. These are my broadcasts.
Right, exactly. Okay, good. Wow, I didn't know that. So you were casting tier 2, tier 3 teams. Did you ever sub in or get to one of the big LAN events, or ever did you ever go just as a
nowhere
fan?
close.
No,
nowhere close.
Oh, really? I've been to one Dota event, dude. It's very close to where I live. MLG Columbus. I was there in person, 14 years old. Man, such hype. Are you aware of the storyline of MLG Columbus?
Yeah, no, I've followed professional Dota for years.
Yeah. The Arteezy showcase, Eternal Envy taking down Burning and DK. Oh, dude. I lost my voice. You know, me 14-year-old.
Sure.
Oh,
see, I think that because of format, like ARPG racing is just very different to things like, you know, Dota and League of Legends and even StarCraft and Counter-Strike. It's just a very different thing. And I don't ever think that like PvE racing is going to be as popular as those sorts of things, but I do think that there's an opportunity to do a lot more than what we have now. So I think that the more exposure the idea gets and the better we have in terms of production and in terms of casting and in terms of community buy-in, I think that the scene can grow from what it is right now. I don't think it's going to be like professional Counter-Strike selling out the American Airlines arena for the major, but like there's stuff that can happen. So
yeah, and they have proven to want to invest into it. They have the spectator mode that's obviously in there. They are doing these race events leading up to the ExileCon race. It wasn't that solely. Maybe after 1.0 they'll go a little bit deeper into the investment. Could be interesting because I have a newfound love of it. I casually watched them leading up to 0.4's races. Then I was pretty into watching those races. I had them up on the big screen TV and everything, and I'm now beyond excited now that I've participated just a little bit, dipped my toes in for 0.5 set of races and the ExileCon qualifiers. Those are going to be the stakes alone, just being able to be flown out to ExileCon and everything and participate. That's substantial. So I'm very excited for those. Well, Crimson. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, you go for it. You go for it.
Okay. I was just going to ask on the PoE2 front again. Obviously, you've been, playing this whole time through. You never played PoE 1, so I was curious. What's your top moment in Path of Exile 2's launch so far? We're like a year and a half in, pretty much. Do you have a favorite moment, a favorite patch, a favorite build? Just what's the best time that you've had playing this game?
I'm gonna engage and bait the hell out of the YouTube comments right here. I miss the rake stomping ground racing meta and leveling meta in 0.2 where you could strength stack and you could put stomping ground on that. It was so I don't think it was good for the game. I think it was bad for the game. And I understand why it's patched, but I do wake up some mornings and just think, I miss it.
Wow.
I miss it.
I couldn't.
And from a racing perspective, it also did so much to like even out RNG because like so little of your power came from gear and so much of it just came from your tree that like it was like the most skill expression stuff and like microing to get the correct disengage angles and the way that you would disengage into dodge roll into the next rake was like all this micro stuff. I remember at one point I was talking to another runner and I was like, dude, you need to turn down your DPI. And he was like, why? And I was like, because you're over flicking. And I was like, this is the first time that like Counter-Strike, like aim terminology had started to come into like the placement of PoE2 racing skills. It was peak. It was horrible for the game.
Okay.
But I missed that. If you're asking me what my favorite patch was, I do wake up some mornings and go, oh, it would be nice. If only I could make a private league that had that setting back.
Dawn of the Hunt, Stomping Ground, Rake Tech. That's what Crimson wants back for Path of Exile.
I don't know. No. I don't want it back for the game in general. I want to have like an isolated private league where like that exists, but it doesn't affect the regular game's economy or gameplay. Just let me play Stomping Ground over on my own.
Yeah, just a little adventure, just for old time's sake. It was good.
Yep.
Man, I remember. Yeah, I remember those races.
It was peak, man.
Yeah, I remember. It was so ridiculous
it was
watching
great.
everybody's screens. Everybody's just flipping around, just back and forth. Yeah.
People were strength stacking on Sorceress. They were playing melee strength stackers on Sorceress. It was peak.
Busted.
It was phenomenal. I miss it.
Absolutely busted. Okay, Crimson, I also mentioned before we started the podcast that, when I reached out about having the pod, you sent me a couple photos and you told me a little bit about your life. I mean, one of the photos is on the thumbnail for this live stream. I don't think I'll use that one for the video thumbnail that people watching the VOD will see, but if you're comfortable sharing to kind of close out the pod, who in the world is Crimson? Because from what I know, you have a wild life story.
I don't know that I think it's all that wild. But
okay, let's see. Let's let the people decide.
Okay, so my name is Crimson. My real life first name is Eric. I grew up in Northern California in a pretty typical suburb. When I was in high school, I was a really good student, but because of health reasons, dropped out of high school after my sophomore year of high school and got a job at a diner and used the money from that to go and volunteer teaching English in Peru for a few months. When I came back from that, I did not re-enroll from high school. I instead got really interested in dressing well and ended up working in retail sales and in custom suiting in San Francisco and then eventually in New York. When I was living in New York, I had a number of VIP clients, people that you guys would know who bought suits from me at the suit store where I worked, but I was just a regular salesman at that point. I eventually moved back to San Francisco and quit my job as a retail salesman in order to go back to college. And when I was in college, the way that I paid my way through was that I worked as a one-on-one personal stylist, where men in the San Francisco area could hire me and I would give them advice on what clothes to buy. So I was a concierge luxury personal stylist doing made-to-measure fittings for people in their homes. And I was also getting a degree in physics from a community college, and then eventually I transferred to a state school and got a degree in physics and am subsequently a particle physicist because I got my bachelor's degree. After I got my bachelor's degree, I mostly stopped being a personal stylist and took a job at a national nuclear security lab, where my job was that I worked on a neutrino experiment. And while that happened, I was in, at that lab, they filmed Oppenheimer there while I worked there. So I was an extra in Oppenheimer, and I'm visible in the Oppenheimer trailer. So I can prove that I was in Oppenheimer. I was a paid actor. And then I had that job for a year. And after that expired, I got admitted to graduate school in Southern California. And now I'm a PhD student in experimental particle physics. And ARPG Blaster.
And ARPG Blaster. I mean,
so I've been a suit salesman. I've been an English teacher in Peru. I've been a concierge personal stylist. Custom suits, yacht parties for a while. That was a thing.
That's Did you just say yacht parties?
Yeah. When you have rich clients, they invite you to their yacht parties.
How big are yachts? Are they like
the one that I was on was a 1-day charter where there was, so like when you're a personal stylist, a lot of your you get income from having relationships both with customers and with brands, right? Because I'm a go-between between the person buying and the person selling. And so this guy there was this guy who sold really high-end suits. And every now and then I would have a client who was in his price range and was buying a suit for like a major life milestone for a wedding or something. Uh-huh. And I referred enough clients to him and they all bought through an account that was in my name, so I could handle returns and exchanges and alterations and things for my clients. And so he, as a marketing event, every time that he would premiere a new collection of seasonal suits, he would throw these lavish parties. And one of them was on a yacht every year.
A one-day charter.
Yeah, a 1-day charter yacht. Yeah, so it was a big, I don't know how big, I don't know how many feet, but yeah, that was a thing that would happen in my life sometimes.
Okay, dude, you've led this with I'm not that exciting in life. Small town dude right here, I live in the town I grew up in. That's a crazy life to a lot of people, man. I mean, dropping out of high school to be getting sorry, I don't even know. You're going to have a doctorate in particle physics at the end of this because you're a PhD student?
Yeah, I'm going to have a PhD in experimental particle physics, yeah.
And now I know I should, before I buy my outfit for like ExileCon, I need to message you and be like, is this good on my, like, can I wear this? Does it fit
It's
my
all
form?
good. I don't dress well anymore. I'm wearing my Target $8 polo shirt,
There
sitting
you go.
in my cheap apartment as a broke graduate student.
Yep. I think not Target, Meijer. My wife got this from Meijer. So, Oh my gosh, dude, that is a wild life. And that's what you're doing right now. So you're currently a student while juggling the ARPG stuff then.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. And that's why you're able to explain Alexander Sanikov's paper related to the rendering.
I don't know why that clip went viral.
In Path of Exile 2.
I woke up the morning that Exiled Again had clipped that like graphics paper thing. That was so funny. So to go back a little bit in the conversation, you asked like how you get into shoutcasting games. The way that I ended up in the position I am for PoE 2 is literally just I'm friends with Angormus and was like, hey, you should submit to Games Done Quick and I'll commentate. Like that was it. There was no anything. And then it ended up being accepted, and so we went out. But in the prep for in the prep for Games Done Quick, I was really worried, since I don't have that much of a background in PoE 1, that like I wouldn't know the lore, or I would say something that, lets on that I don't know the whole history of the franchise, because I came in with PoE 2. And so I did like dozens of hours of like, I watched every lore video. I would go look at like tier lists for League Start builds for like patches that happened 5 years ago, because I really wanted to know like the history of the meta so I couldn't be called a tourist. And as part of that, I watched every single ExileCon talk from both ExileCons.
Right.
And when Alexander Sanikov gave a talk about the graphics engine in Path of Exile, he mentioned that he had in the talk, he mentioned that he had published a computer science paper about the implementation of radiance cascades for global illumination. And I was like, I'm a mathy guy. I'll go look that up and read it. And that way, haha, you think Crimson's not a real Path of Exile enjoyer. You've never even heard of this, and I'm reading papers about it. Like, I was so worried about being seen as an outsider. Yeah. And so I may have over-indexed a bit. And so as a consequence, I've read like academic papers about the graphics engine. And so that bit like always makes people like, it catches people off sides when they're like, why do you even know that? And it was because I was so worried about not being a member of the tribe,
Yeah. And I didn't even touch on that. How was that whole experience with Games Done Quick? I mean, that's how I first was like exposed to you. That's the first thing that I saw. I watched the Angormus speedrun, you casting it. I thought it was freaking awesome. I think you just mentioned that's when I reached out to you. How was that whole experience at Games Done Quick? I know Angormus said it was
so weird.
Weird?
It was so weird. So like I've watched Games Done Quick every year for a decade.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so the application process is really straightforward. You just submit a VOD and then you write like a 100-word explanation of the run and you submit that, and that's it. So Angormus and I recorded a run where Angormus is playing and I'm doing 90% of the talking. And then we submitted that, which was a conversation between me and Angormus where he was like, I actually think that it's easier for me to just lock in and you can just do all the talking and that'll be the split, which is not the GDQ convention that the runner says nothing. That's not normal at Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
But it's what we liked, and Angormus and I are close friends. And so the acceptance rate for Games Done Quick is ridiculously low. The time that we got in, the acceptance rate was 7.8%. Wow. So 1 out of every 12 or 13 runs got in.
Yeah.
So we weren't expecting to get in. I felt pretty confident, but it wasn't like a given at all. And then going there was just so weird because it's just in a hotel in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So you go there and like the lobby was decorated with like video game plushies because the hotel was trying really hard to be a good host.
Yeah.
But it was like the weirdest assortment of like, here's a cardboard cutout of the Master Chief and next to him is a Pikachu. Like just like random whatever video game memorabilia they could get on short notice in the lobby.
Yeah, they couldn't
get
this
which
guy.
was great because like it did have the effect of like clearly they're trying to be a good host, right?
Right.
But then there's a media training before you're on the main stream because there are brand obligations for GDQ. Like Red Bull is a sponsor and it's a 50,000 average viewer event. And so we need to be moderated in the way that we make jokes about political topics or adult topics or anything else. And so there's a media orientation. And when we went to the media orientation for our session, all the other runners and commentators are there, and it's being hosted by a person who's staffed for the event. And we're going around the room saying like, oh, what game are you here for? What game are you here for? What game are you here for? And then we say Path of Exile 2. And like half of the room turns to me and Angormus and is like, oh, I'm so excited about 0.3. I'm playing a Bear Slam Druid. I can't believe it. Bear of Katava, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that like almost the entirety of like the old school Nintendo and PlayStation 1 gamers that were there to run like Jack and Dexter and Pokemon Red version are like secretly Pee-wee 1 Andes.
Yeah.
And so for the rest of the couple of days that we were there, Angormus and I would be like going to the practice room, which is just a hotel conference room with some laptops in it where you can rehearse. And Angormus would be playing and I would be narrating, and people would come from across the room and hear us talking about Path of Exile and interrupt us to be like, man, can you look at my POB for my Pathfinder? It was great. So we were like micro celebrities the entire time. It was hilarious. It was so funny because people loved Path of Exile there. And then the actual broadcast itself is just a weird, like I'm on an IKEA couch that's like half assembled. Like they clearly didn't screw in the legs on that IKEA couch correctly. And then we sound check, and you can go find this in the VOD if you want. While I'm narrating and while Angormus is playing, and to the extent that he and I are talking to each other, every now and then there's a producer in our headsets giving us some kind of a note. And I can see them. So they're like, Angormus and I are on a stage. Angormus has a monitor. To the left is a TV that I'm looking at to do the commentary. And then beyond that, there's a guy standing there with like an NFL coach's like hip side pack, pressing a mic button to talk to us. And the only time that it really slipped through into the broadcast, as far as I could tell, was there was someone in Twitch chat who was afraid of spiders. And repeatedly kept being very upset that we weren't giving arachnophobia warnings. And so throughout the run, the producer eventually comes over and says like into the mic pack, and this is while our host, who's a guy, he's reading like donations and stuff. So I have a minute to like sip my water and whatever. And the producer comes over and is like, can you give spider warnings for the rest of the run? And I was like, I'm not supposed to respond verbally, is what they've told me. I'm supposed to shake my head or nod my head, but I couldn't track what he was even asking. So you can hear me during the middle of a donation read. You could look at me and I will go like, spider warnings, like under my breath. And then the producer ends up going like, I'll get some clarification, and walks off screen. And then I never got any clarification.
Oh my goodness.
So for the entire like second half of the run, I'm sitting there. That happened at some point in early Act 2 while Angormus was in like Mastodon Badlands. If you want to find the moment, you can go find it. And it was so funny to me after the fact, because it's like, streaming on Twitch, even if you have a couple hundred viewers or even a couple thousand, is you can see the chat, you recognize most of the names, the topic of conversation, you know that the average person who's watching you on Twitch or watching me on Twitch, I like know that they know something about Path of Exile and we have this shared interest. Whereas like the GDQ audience, first off, I can't see chat. Second, there's 65,000 people in chat. And third, none of them have ever played Path of Exile before and none of them know anything about me. And so it was more like being on a TV show set than it was on being in my house with my laptop or anything. And so it was bizarre.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it didn't feel like a big stream. It felt like something completely different to streaming, to regular Twitch streaming. It felt more like being on a TV show would feel.
Right. I mean, casting on a half-built jank IKEA couch sounds what a wild experience, dude. Like, shoot, it's gonna fall over on me or anything. Spider warning. There must have been, I mean, if there's 65K people in chat, there must have been like, there had to be spam of like, spider warning, please, spider what? Like, that's crazy.
No,
what? No, it was just one guy.
Because I went and watched the VOD back with the chat and I couldn't.
That's hilarious.
I didn't see a single message like that. And to their credit, there were a bunch of like PoE1 OGs who were in the Twitch chat and were, you know, adding on to what I was saying. So like Ziggy, for example.
So cool.
And Lolcohol and Guitaraholic, there were a bunch of PoE1 knowers who were there and like giving out advice. So I hope that whoever that was, you know, sorry, there's a lot of creepy crawlies in our dark
Amazing.
gothic fantasy game. So
You guys think you might try to do it again once Acts 5 and 6 are out? So a whole game's done quick run? Or is there some sort of rule that you can't resubmit for the same game for a certain amount of time?
So you can submit as often as you want. So,
Oh,
like, for example,
okay.
every single Games Done Quick has multiple Super Mario
Right.
64 submissions of
Okay.
every different category of everything. What's more likely is that it'll probably be a post 1.0 type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can submit anything. We could submit, a full campaign run. We could submit a more limited thing. We could submit a race between two top people.
Oh.
So there's a bunch that in principle could be done. The way that the people that decide who ends up on the roster for Games Done Quick are called the Games Committee, which is just a bunch of gamers. It's
Right.
literally just a bunch of nerds in a Discord call picking and choosing who ends up in.
Yeah.
And what we were told repeatedly by Games Committee members that we met was that the Games Committee really wants PoE 1 to be submitted, and they're shocked that no one's ever submitted PoE 1.
Gotta message message Ben.
I've
Jungrone. They
So
probably
we've-
do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we got back from GDQ, I know Angormus reached out to both
Tai-Tai.
I'm Exile and Tai Tai
Exile,
and
yeah.
Havoc.
Okay, Havoc.
So like
yeah.
a bunch of the top PoE 1 racers, like if you're a PoE 1 person and you're watching this, like please submit something to Games Done Quick. Like they want to accept a PoE 1 run.
That
Like,
is
please
shocking.
do that.
It's been around for so long.
Now
Wow.
they can't guarantee acceptance of,
Right.
one thing versus the other thing, right? Because it's a committee-based decision, but we were told we were given more than a wink and a nudge that if PoE 1 were submitted, it would be considered pretty seriously. So
How exciting. Wow, man. I mean, what a story. Your life, Games Done Quick, all the races. Dude, this has been such a unique chat. I really appreciate you coming on. Was there anything else you wanted to yap about here in the days leading up to 0.5?
please don't nerf. Please, GGG. I know you're watching. Please don't nerf Sorcery Ward. I have a whole league start plan. Please don't nerf Sorcery Ward.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Crimson. This has been phenomenal. If anybody's watching in the bot and hasn't already subbed to Crimson's channel on YouTube, followed his Twitch, make sure you go and do it. And if you are watching the bot, I will leave it in the description below. You especially released an amazing League Start tips video, right?
Thank you.
It popped off. Congratulations. I love to see it. It was really well done. And I swear I will learn how to use regex eventually. That was one of Dead Rabbit's critiques of me. It's like, is there a gentleman's agreement to not use regex? Like, what is going on here? No. I'll learn.
You just neither one of you had one. So
Exactly. That was the whole problem. So, all right, chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been great, Crimson. I'll probably chat with you later. This has been a great time. Have a good one.
yeah, good talking.
All right,
Talk to you
that's the YouTube cut. Thanks, dude. That was awesome. We yapped for a long time. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
looked at the time and I was like, oh shoot. My wife had walked in here like 10 minutes ago and she was like, are you still on the pod? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm on the pod.
I mean, you're
good.
Talkative Try and I'm CrimsonCasts. We're the two biggest yappers in the
Huge
game.
Huge yappers. Yeah, this was
Tier 1 ladder rank 1, words per minute.
Yes, I would agree.
To quote the beginning of my GDQ script, we didn't even get to this in the pod. This is a whole thing that we could do of like what the actual commentary for GDQ was way more scripted than you think it is. No one ever realizes this.
Yeah.
I had a notebook of 32 pages of notes with like what I was going to talk about, bullet
What?
points in every single zone in the entire game.
Really?
And I did not deviate a single word from that script.
Really?
So like, yeah. So like it seems very off the cuff, but it's not. Like I've pre-planned every single tiny pun in the entire run was like on note cards before I got there.
Wow. No, I did not know that. So
So,
you
like,
did
for
that
example-
too with ours last night. Does that help quite a bit with shoutcasting? Having all those planned stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, so like for example, at GDQ, I know that most of the audience has never played Path of Exile,
Yeah.
let alone anything else related to it, right?
Right.
I'm just going in assuming that none of them have played Diablo or Last Epoch or Grim Dawn or Titan Quest or Pee-wee 1 or anything. And so I decided very early on that, like, okay, skill and support gem, you need to understand that. Randomized items, you need to understand that. And then we go through of like, and then item bases come in tiers. And so we step up from the wooden club to the smithing hammer, to then the slim mace, to then the studded club, and so forth. And so, like, where are these things going to happen? And then in the Grim Tangle, I'm going to explain, like, why is Angormus taking his chest piece off, and how does sprint work, and all this movement stuff. And so my keyword for Grim Tangle, for example, was movement. And so if you go back and watch the VOD, you can see that there are times where things happen to Angormus, like he gets his first pair of movement speed boots, and I don't say anything about them at all. Like, he picks them up, and instead of going, oh, he got 10% movement speed boots and blah, blah, blah. Nope, that's 2 zones from now. We're going to talk about movement speed boots 2 zones from now. And so it was all super duper scripted.
Yeah, no, that's smart, though. That's good.
And so,
okay.
And so, like, a lot of people in retrospect are like, man, I wish I could talk like you. I'm like, man, it took me 600 hours to write all those notes. Like, you don't, I guarantee you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're able to string the words together so well. Like actually, like one after the other. I can't do that unless it's like, you know, literally just me. I'm not telling a story. You tell a story when you're casting, which is I listened to the whole cast this morning because yesterday we rewatched it, but I didn't listen to your casting until the Geonor fight. I listened to the casting. Dude, it was amazing. Oh my goodness. That was so entertaining. So I cannot wait for more about content creator cups and stuff. I hope those
that's
work
one of the
out.
things about good casting that I feel that I'm pretty bad at compared to, like, I feel like I do okay at presenting the analytical stuff.
Okay.
But the narrative stuff, I do my best, and I'm trying to work more on that.
I noticed it yesterday. I thought it was great. The whole brothers pitted against each other.
If you're a fan of other esports, there's a lot of adding narrative weight to moments that without the commentary would feel pretty bland. Like, I think about this in Counter-Strike a lot, where someone's sneaking around to get to flank the enemy team, and so the caster starts whispering to imply how sneaky we have to be.
Yeah.
And that adds this social aspect to it that creates more narrative tension. And so I feel that at the top end of words per minute, I do a pretty good job. But as far as like slowing down and adding more weight to things, I think that I could improve some.
Yeah, this will never be seen by any Dota casters, but you know, I used to watch every single Dota 2 tournament in existence religiously. I would wake up at 3 a.m. I would like not eat my food all day so I could cook like dinner at like a 10 p.m. start time, my time, for Chinese tournaments and Dota. Like I used to almost before kids, I would base my entire schedule off these events because I love them so much.
Yep.
So like casters in that, the ones who really told a story and like knew the histories of each individual player and like their interact. Like that's, and then players who also leaned into that too and gave casters a story to tell, because I think that's really important. Dude, like the one I always go back to is like Eternal Envy. Like that dude gave people the ammunition to tell a story about him, and I freaking loved it. And when he stepped away from the scene after Cloud9, it was such a sad day.
I think that we've got some social narratives coming up for the ExileCon qualifiers that'll be interesting.
Oh,
I think we're gonna have some stuff there. So
yeah, that'll be super good. I will be tuning in to all those. That's gonna be very exciting. It's
just a question of if I'm not the commentary person.
True.
It's going to be a judgment call that needs to be made by Ziggy and Rise or whoever it ends up being.
Yeah.
And I think it may not be the most liked thing by the runners itself for some of them who would prefer to keep a lower profile. But I do think that there's some, I think it would draw more intrigue to the sport.
Yeah.
If there was some more of that were
personality.
Exposed.
Like personality in each of them, Yeah. So, I mean, you're obviously referring to Ang 11 or why? Right. Like that's going to be integral to the speed. Do you think the official Path of Exile channel will add that as a 7 TV emote? You think?
No,
just for the race?
No.
What? I mean, they're not sponsored by anybody. Come on. They gotta add it to
I
their
mean,
channel.
they did let me swear on their stream.
Oh, they swear in the interviews. Come on, do they care?
But did you watch the race that I hosted? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember. I did watch it. I don't remember.
So in the race that I'm hosting, season 4, race 2,
Yeah.
we're about halfway through act 2, and I'm
Okay.
I'm tabbing through all of the different weapons that different top players have.
Yep.
So I'm looking at Guy That Dies and Whole New Society and Luxian and Giluo and Angormus, and everybody has like a banger weapon. Everybody's having phenomenal item RNG. And then I tab to Luxian, who's this druid player.
Uh-huh.
And he's playing crossbows on druid, and I look at it, and it's the crossbow that I would put in my POB, like for number testing my leveling build. It's got like perfect flat lightning, perfect fire damage, perfect increased elemental damage with attacks, +2 all projectile levels, +9% attack speed, plus crit. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And so the production is just me and Rise in a Discord call, and then there are 2 other GGG employees who shall remain nameless in the call with us, not speaking on the stream, but typing to us in the Discord chat.
Yep.
And I'm like typing back and forth to them. Whenever I'm not talking, I'm typing furiously to the GGG employees asking like, hey, can you get me this person's username so I can look at their instance? Or like, it's important to the narrative of the race that I know how long can I get a comparison between player A and player B, how long it took them to clear Apex of Filth? Right. So I'm asking like that. And then data person is typing back saying, Whole New Society took 1 minute and 41 seconds, and so took 2 minutes 12, and so took 2 minutes 28, and I'm able to compare.
Okay.
But at one point, this player gets an insane crossbow, and I type to the host. I go, am I allowed to swear on stream? This is the craziest crossbow I've ever seen. And he replies, sure, LOL. And Rise is in the middle of a segment as I'm typing this. And Rise looks over, because our cameras aren't on screen, but he's still sharing camera in the Discord call. So I can see Rise's facial expression, and we're communicating non-verbally that way, right? And I look over and I see Rise like get to the end of his sentence and take a pause. And then I see him like start to laugh at the idea of me asking permission to swear. And so I send it and I go, holy fucking shit, what a crossbow. Like I sent it. And both the GGG employees in the call type Lamau into the chat in all caps. And then Rise, and then I go through explaining why the crossbow is so good and how impactful these modifiers are, and his tooltip damage is so high, and it's normally this, but at this point in the run he has double that, and that's why he's doing so well, and blah blah blah. And then I get to the end of my thing, and Rise takes over, and Rise's next sentence was like, GGG never lets me swear. And so as good. Rise says that on the broadcast, the GGG employee types back, Rise, you've never asked.
It's true. It's true. You just gotta ask permission, dude. So good. Man.
I felt bad in the moment because I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have sent it that hard, you know. Maybe I could have just said goddamn or something.
Hype,
but
dude. I said of that.
I said it so emphatically and whatever.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched the VOD after that because I was trying to not keep track of chat because it was too active for me to read everything and read production and do everything else. And I went back and watched the Twitch chat, and there was like an absolute wall of like LOLs and KEKWs and stuff.
Oh yeah, people love it.
When I did it, and I was like, hell yeah.
Especially if it's rare, dude. You know, you drop it in those key moments, especially if it was like the first time, because I'm sure if Rise never asked permission, and I don't think Ziggy, drops anything. I was probably like, oh, whoa, sit up in their chair, start typing in Twitch chat. Exactly. Yeah. So good.
Which, like, again, like it's a mature game for mature audiences, and I think that people can handle it.
Oh yeah.
But it was still a moment of me like, it's my first time, getting paid by GGG to do this. I sent it, and I felt bad for a bit, and then afterwards I was like, nah, they could handle it. They're gamers.
Right. Okay, so now you need to qualify for the first ExileCon race so that you can help cast the subsequent 3. What you need to do.
I would love to, don't get me wrong, winning the very first one, I would love to do commentary, but also I would just love to watch as a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the sport as much as I'm a competitor in it, if not more.
It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. We'll have to chat closer. I'm sure we will. It's been pretty fun yapping with you, like just off impromptu. So that time will be really fun. I wonder if they're going to do it a little bit closer to season launch, or if it's going to be another like, okay, we're going to do qualifiers in September. It would be great if they did them in like July or August, as opposed to really late in the league. Like that'd be cool, but we'll see. We'll see. All right.
In a typical league, I would really like it to be super late in the league. Because, like, for example, imagine if the races for O.4 were now, right? As all the interest is picking back up in the swing into O.5. So having it be super late in the patch. It's different because of ExileCon. But in general, what I would really like is for there to be races during that last 3 to 4 week span as league interest starts to take back up, and that's also the peak of when people are interested in like optimizing their campaign and getting all through it. So that would be, that would be the time when I would really want it.
Yeah. Oh, people asking how many subs for my special Act 1 build code. People have been clowning on me about my Act 1 build. Guys, I know how bad it was. I know that Crimson said he's going to use Infernal Cry and Basic Attack for his damage on Geonor, and then I didn't use Infernal Cry a single time on Geonor. Oh, the face palm, man. That was good. I know so many things I'm going to do better now, dude. I'm so ready.
You got to win the next race, man. You got to keep leveling up.
I know. I think I will. I know my brother's he's doing one right now, I'm pretty sure. He said he was like going to practice. He's like, he wants to win. He is very competitive, let's just say. So, but I think he probably deserved to win that race. I mean, the
I don't know,
dude. The greater life flask and the talisman.
Listen, can I just be toxic for a second?
Yeah,
I think that based on the way that you played, neither one of you deserved to win that race. You both threw so hard. I was like, I need to borrow the toxic try costume for a second, because like you're like, he deserved to win. I'm like, I don't know if either one of these I mean, you gotta get back in there and do something different.
The getting lost, the deaths in Aga Manor, and the ramparts, dude. I mean, that was.
I mean, if you're gonna play like that next time, I'll just schedule a bathroom break when you're in Manor Ramparts.
I will get better. Well, I will get back. I gotta study those layouts, dude. That's what I gotta do, because or just pay attention to my mini map, because like in the mausoleum. You know what Draven's outline looks like. I saw the arena when you pointed it out, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is wild.
I think that there's a co-stream out there for you with like Lolcahol, because if you aren't familiar, Lolcahol owns the Campaign Codex Discord, but also has a bunch of Mobalytics guides specifically aimed at people who are not trying to like win races but do want a faster campaign.
There you go.
And so like a day of hanging out with either Lolcahol or Cyclone, like with Definitive, for their resources are very geared to the level of like wanting to get faster but not wanting to spend 5 hours memorizing Red Veil layouts to save 20 seconds.
I wonder if they're probably gonna have to redo all that with the patch. Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty big undertaking. That'll be interesting to see. So, and if anybody's interested, Campaign Codex is the Discord name. It's Lolcahol, Guitarholic. Is Definitive a part of it now too? Like they all do kind of work together to analyze all that stuff. There you go.
I'm gonna put a link in the Twitch chat.
There you go.
Can copy it to the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'll copy it to the YouTube chat. This is a really nice Discord, you guys. If you don't know about it, right here.
So if you want to get better at campaign,
right
that's not a speedrunning Discord. That's a get better at campaign Discord. So
100%. And my brother just said 100%. He is literally practicing right now. That's so funny, dude. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
All right, Crimson, this was great. I really appreciate it, man. I'll probably chat with you probably tomorrow in the creator, in the Discord. So
in the Discord that doesn't exist.
It doesn't actually exist. I'll emit that from our podcast. Don't worry. I always do editing and post. So much editing and post. So, all right, man. I'll chat with you later. Thanks so much.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
See ya.
How'd you guys like that? W or L, chat? You guys enjoy the pod with Crimson? Very different guest today. Right? incredibly different guest. Like, total opposite than me in terms of how he's looking at the game. So awesome to talk to. When I called him a teddy bear, I mean, he's so nice, guys. He's ridiculously nice. Terrible guest, get rid of that guy, never invite him back. And he's a massive troll. He's a massive troll. We talked about defenses formula. We didn't talk about resistance formulas, Kaladestine. We talked about defenses at the beginning of the pod. Time him out again for swearing. Yeah, that was beautiful. Huge convo. You guys really enjoyed it? Awesome. Good to hear. Excellent. Oh, what a life story indeed. Yeah, he was like, I don't know if it's really that interesting. I don't know if we should really talk about it, you know? Of course we're going to talk about it, dude. Yeah, everybody on Twitch chat right now. See, we got a lot of you. Maybe some of you from Rax. Make sure if you want to see more of those podcasts, I got a bunch more lined up for this patch. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and same on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now, make sure wow, I just said that's pretty crazy. Like this video, subscribe to the channel too. Really helps it grow, guys. Let's see. So, what do you got? I'm actually gonna pull the live chat right now. We got several hundred people in here right now. I said I was gonna stream on Patch Note Day. Should I even stream on Patch Note Day? Should I just leave it to the professionals like Crimson? I don't even know, because I'm not the biggest build crafter, theory crafter. I'm wondering if maybe I just, read them in private, yap with them on my own, and then return on the week, maybe the day after Patch Notes Day, because that was the next time I was going to go live. The post-official chat was the best part. Maybe I'll need to cut that in the podcast. Any teasers on who else is going to be on the podcast? Yeah, unless I'm planning a build, read them offline. I think I might read them offline. I really might. Yeah, so, I mean, I actually got the lineup right here, guys. Got the lineup right here. Here you go. So the next person on the pod is Halsey. We got Jazzerus. Then we've got Scorpius, Kaltarak, I'm on Whatever Media's podcast. And we've got Arrow, we've got Rax, we've got Balor Mage, Neversink, and Palsteron, and then Dead Rabbit. That's who we've got coming on the podcast right now. There may be a couple surprise guests that I'm waiting on their responses, but they will be later in the league. Later in the league. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if there are any other surprise guests. People have been requesting Prada. People have been requesting Bub Gun. My dad. People want my dad to come back. Lots of requests, so we'll have to see who pops on the pod. I didn't want to do too many for this patch. I don't want to burn out or anything, but I want to play it a lot. Podcasting takes a lot of prep work for me. I kind of want to play the game. So if I get to play the main a little bit more. No GGG interview this league. No, I'm pretty sure it's just DM and Ghazi. Just those two. So when do you play PoE 2 then? Great question. Every single stream, I start about an hour and a half to 2 hours before the pod when the patch is out. So I'll play leading up to the podcast, do the podcast, and then play after if I have time. But launch weekend, I'm going to be streaming the entire weekend. I am going Goblin mode. My family is gone. They're going up north. I'm going to be solo. It's going to be a blast. Going to do some fun stuff. Guy That Dies is another potential one that we might pop on here. Yep. There. You versus Quinn 69 race. I would beat Quinn. I would beat Quinn. I'm very confident I would beat Quinn 69 in a race. But he doesn't, he's not a racer. He's an entertainer. I'm not even joking. Like, I would beat him. And this isn't me trying to bait him into, coming on my podcast because I've invited him. I've tried to invite him before and he's never responded to me. I did see he was reading one of my tweets in one of his videos. Somebody linked it to me. I did not look at what he said about my tweet, but he was reading it. Don't clip it. Don't clip it. No, he does not play fast, guys. It's not fair. He plays for pure entertainment value. If you have ever watched his stream, that's not surprising. Yeah, he's an entertainer. He's a complete entertainer. Wait, by the way, I need to no. Oh, I just deleted my brother's message. Oh. How slash VIP cast on comment. All right, bro, you're a VIP in my chat now. Arrow coming on the podcast, challenging him, wanting Quinn on, challenging him. I see the theme. Quinn beef. Wow, thanks, bro. You're welcome. What's the Quinn beef? I don't have Quinn beef. There's no Quinn beef. What does it say? You versus Quinn 69 race. I would beat Quinn. I would beat Quinn. I'm very confident I would beat Quinn 69 in a race. But he doesn't. He's not a racer. He's an entertainer. I'm not even joking. Like, I would beat him. And this isn't me trying to bait him into. I mean, it doesn't matter if he sees it or he doesn't see it. Starving for content? I'm not starving for content. I think that'd be hilarious. No. No. No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't get sick, although my youngest is sick right now. I love Quinn. Oh, no. No, Connor. No, 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 no. Quinn is one. Okay, so I don't watch Quinn's streams, so I'll be straight. But his clips are some of my favorite clips of all time, specifically from Path of Exile 1 and launch of Path of Exile 2. Quinn has the best clips. When he gets booped by, oh, I can't remember his name, the fourth floor trial of the second, Zarok. When he gets booped by Zarok, I just... Angormus coaches Ziz, coaches Quinn. Well, didn't Angormus just coach Ziz? It's ramping, chat. It's ramping, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah, what a time. Let's see. I'm gonna go see if my wife is asleep, you guys. 1 second. I'll be right back. He is asleep. He is asleep. Oh, did my internet just go out? No. How responsible should I be? No, I'm not buying that twink gear and racing you. I think I gotta be responsible. I think that I gotta peace out, Exiles. I need to get some sleep. I've been staying up really late the past while. Yeah, I gotta sleep, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast with Crimson on YouTube, on Twitch. I will be back probably this weekend to chat about the patch notes. I probably won't go live for patch notes day, but there will be some videos up. Oh man, I was going to record a video tonight. Yeah, it's way too late now. I am going to raid you on over to Kaltorak. All right, the tourist, the Thorns man, who's not really doing as much Thorns anymore. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. God bless. I'll see you in a while. There will be a video up on my YouTube channel tomorrow, most likely. See ya. Bye, everyone.